Hundreds gathered last night after a U.S. citizen was fatally shot by an immigration and customs enforcement agent in Minneapolis on Wednesday. The tone was more somber in Tacoma. A vigil for Renee Nicole Good with speakers, candles, and flags from Veterans for Peace. National media has identified Good as a mother of three who lived in the neighborhood where the confrontation with ICE took place. While videos of the shooting are circulating widely online, Good's death is still being investigated. And Washington's Democrats in Congress are demanding a full investigation into that death. Senator Maria Cantwell called the shooting disturbing. Senator Patty Murray went further and said it was an execution. Representative Pramila Jayapal's flurry of posts on X accused the president and Secretary of Homeland Security about lying about how Good died and demanded ICE get out of American cities. KIRO Newsradio has reached out to Washington's entire congressional delegation, including our state's 2 Republican representatives. A Washington state commission takes action against 2 officers accused of sexual harassment. The commission suspended a Federal Way police officer's certification for 1 year. It could also pull the badge of a former Port of Seattle police officer. The Seattle Times reports both men were accused of sexually harassing female recruits at the state's police academy in Burien in 2022. Attorneys for those women say the decision is a step forward but call for deeper cultural change in policing. King County Sheriff's Office is testing a new rapid DNA machine that could dramatically reduce turnaround time for crime scene DNA testing. Test results from the Washington State Patrol Crime Lab could take weeks, if not months. But the new technology delivers results in just 90 minutes with a high level of accuracy. King County Sheriff's Captain Chris Leba.
It's within 1/100th of a percentile that the system says these are likely related. So, 99.999%.
Deputies will begin using the machine for low-level felony cases by the end of this month. The lights are back on at Stevens Pass. Let's end on a good note here. A power outage shut down the ski area yesterday. More from KIRO 7 TV's Dee Sun.
First of all, they had a late season opening because of a lack of snow. Plus, access to the slopes on US 2 is still limited after historic rain caused slides and severe road damage. There is now a pilot car leading drivers across construction zones to access Stevens Pass. The resort says teams will complete early morning assessments on the power outage today and will provide an update on reopening at 7 a.m.
A winter storm has dropped more than 2 feet of snow in a lot of places. Forecasters do say that snow will taper off for just about ideal powder conditions by Saturday. It is 5:13. Let's check your traffic and your weather. So we are looking very good on the roads, green all over the map. But as we told you, there is a winter storm warning in the mountains right now. Snoqualmie Pass. Traction tires are required. Chains are required on larger vehicles. There's compact snow and ice on the roadway. So if you are getting an early start on some snow fun, just be mindful of that and be careful because the road has closed periodically for crashes. Looking at your forecast today, we are dry right now. We've got a break in the rain. I'm looking at the radar and see just about everywhere has a break except for some spotty areas over the coast and in the mountains. We're going to warm up only to 44 degrees with a few showers possible later. And tomorrow we're going to have showers in the morning with a high of 49 degrees. It is 38 degrees right now, very chilly in downtown Seattle. Coming up next, CBS military analyst Jeff McCausland breaks down the U.S. seizure of oil tankers connected to Venezuela. This is KIRO Newsradio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO Newsradio App. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO Newsradio, Northwest News.
This hour of Seattle's Morning News is brought to you by Closets by Design Seattle.
Everybody loves the season of giving, but now the season of paying for it is upon us. That not-so-wonderful time of the year when millions of Americans open their credit card statements, stare in horror at the balance, and resolve then and there to find new ways to save money. If you're among those Americans, why not start by cutting your wireless bill in half right now with Pure Talk's Saver Plan? It's easy. You'll get unlimited talk, text, and 3 gigs of high-speed data on a super-fast, nationwide 5G network for just $20 a month. Just dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe, and you'll save an additional 50% off your first month. Ho, ho, ho. And if you're active or former military or a first responder, you'll save an additional 20% every single month. That's pound 250. Say Mike Rowe for the gift that keeps on saving from America's wireless company, Pure Talk.
More than 4,000 women are diagnosed with breast cancer every year in Washington state. I'm Dr. Suzette Miranda with Northwest Hope and Healing. We provide a lifeline to breast and gynecologic cancer patients, and you can help us make a difference. Join us for Cork, Fork, and Support, an afternoon of wine tasting and inspiration on January 31st at Mary Hill Winery in Woodinville's Wine Country. Get your tickets now for Cork, Fork, and Support. Go to nwhopeandhealing.org to learn more.
1 in 3 adults has prediabetes. 1 in 3. That means it could be you, your football buddy, your football buddy, or you, your best man, your worst man, you, your dog walker, your cat jogger. While 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes, with early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. Take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
Happy New Year, Susan. I really appreciate you picking up the bill for lunch.
I'm happy to. One of my New Year's resolutions is being better with money. So I've started using Upside, the free app that pays you cash back for buying gas.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get paid cash when you buy gas with the Upside app?
Yes, I earn cash back just for buying the gas I was already buying.
Does that actually add up to anything?
I'll make $200 to $300 this year.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app now in the App Store or Google Play and start earning cash back on everyday gas purchases. Use promo code RIDER for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's up to 50 cents per gallon on your next fill up. You can cash out anytime, right to your bank account or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code RIDER for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code RIDER. Code RIDER. Offers vary by user and location. Go to upside.com for terms and conditions.
For over 50 years, Bucky's Complete Auto Repair has been the one locals trust for fast, friendly service with guaranteed repairs. With 16 family-owned locations and a Carfax preferred badge, Bucky's makes it easy with same-day service and available financing. Visit buckys.com.
No heat, electrical issues, frozen pipes, no power? John Curley here, recommending you call Home Comfort Alliance. For over 40 years, doing heating, cooling, plumbing, and electrical right, including standby generators. Call the comfort people at homecomfortalliance.com.
Reliable, refreshing, and ready every morning. Seattle's Morning News.
Okay, we have a lot of international headlines to go over with Jeff McCausland. We have word from President Trump yesterday. The U.S. will be receiving 30 to 50 million barrels of oil from Venezuela, pledging the proceeds of the sale will benefit the people of both Venezuela and the U.S.
The president continues to push for his claim over Greenland, but there is developing news this morning on this tanker that's linked to Venezuela. Let's bring in CBS military analyst Jeff McCausland. Apparently, this tanker is flying under the Russian flag. What do we know, Jeff?
Well, this is one of those sanctioned tankers of the so-called Black Fleet that has been used to bring oil out of Iran and out of Venezuela in contradiction to U.S. and other international sanctions. The United States tried to get it to stop when it was down in the Caribbean. The vessel refused to stop, and trying to conduct an operation on a moving vessel that might have a resistant crew was deferred until they got a maritime special operations unit in the region. And apparently we now have caught up with this particular tanker, I think somewhere off the coast of Iceland, and actually seized the vessel. In the intervening phase, as you said, Manda, they have actually reflagged once again. They were traveling initially with no flag, which is against international law to travel in a vessel without a flag being flown. And now they've renamed the ship to something new and actually claimed that they were a Russian ship. There are supposedly Russian ships in the area, but there have been no direct confrontation, at least so far, between the United States and Russian naval vessels. But the ship now is apparently under U.S. control.
And does that complicate things? Help me understand. What if Russia says, yeah, that is one of our ships?
Yeah, I mean, that does complicate things. The Russians could claim that this vessel, though renamed and reflagged while it was underway, is now part of the Russian maritime fleet. And this is, U.S. piracy on the high seas, and this could then spill into a confrontation. Frankly, I don't think that will happen. Honestly, I hope it doesn't, but I don't think it will either, simply because right now I would think if I'm Vladimir Putin, I am enormously happy that Mr. Trump is distracted and the United States is distracted with this crisis over Venezuela that might involve large numbers of U.S. military forces, diverting those forces from other parts of the world, most notably Europe, number one. And number two is the president's remarks yesterday about the United States should seize and control Greenland, which drives a fissure between the United States and its NATO allies, Greenland being part of Denmark, a founding member of the NATO alliance, should be delightful to Mr. Putin, because I think he's endeavoring to try to achieve on the diplomatic arena what he has been unable to achieve on the battlefield in Ukraine.
So Greenland, of course, is its parent country is Denmark, a NATO ally. What does it look like if there is some sort of use of force to take Greenland?
Well, it's the end of NATO. Full stop. It's over. The longest serving alliance of democracies that has been in place for now 75 years, since 1949, and I think has served U.S. interests remarkably well in that period of time, is over and done with. And that will have ramifications diplomatically, of course, economically, et cetera, as we go into the future. And one of the great things I think the United States enjoyed for the Cold War and beyond was a vast array of allies around the world. Chinese don't have very many allies. I mean, they have North Korea and Pakistan. Okay, great. Russians don't have very many allies. The United States enjoys allies around the world, and as a consequence has military bases around the world, and enjoys, free trade with those allies in many ways, which has been to our betterment. And then the United States become more isolated if those allies and those alliances are destroyed.
Jeff, the president keeps saying taking Greenland is a matter of national security. Can you explain that?
Sure. I mean, there is some argument that Greenland has become more and more important from a security standpoint as the Arctic becomes more and more important. Some would argue it's an effect of climate change, as you can traverse the Arctic much more freely, perhaps now and in the future, if we see the receding of the ice in that particular area. So it becomes much more important for commerce. It opens the access to an awful lot of minerals and oil, and perhaps that were not able to be reached before. And I think in some ways, going after Greenland has national security implications, that's for sure, but it also has economic implications. Greenland has, it's believed to have significant rare earth minerals, which are becoming more and more important, and as the ice recedes, those minerals will be more and more accessible. But the crazy thing about it is at one point during the Cold War, the United States had 10,000 troops in Greenland, clear cooperation with Denmark, doing whatever we wanted to as we confronted the Soviet Union. And I dare say that the Greenland and Denmark would be more than willing to cooperate with the United States in any way we want in terms of rebuffing any threats posed by the Chinese and the Russians in that area without having to conquer and take over the country.
It is chilly but dry, 38 degrees. We're going to have a break in the rain, but showers are possibly a little bit later today. And that winter storm warning is still in effect until 4 p.m. in the Cascade Mountains. Coming up, former State Attorney General Rob McKenna on what to expect from the trial of Venezuela's Nicolas Maduro. This is KIRO News Radio.
After voters made it clear they want change.
That I will faithfully conduct myself as the mayor of the city of Seattle.
What should Seattle residents expect from Mayor Katie Wilson?
She talked a lot about our affordability crisis.
Northwest News voices you depend on.
It's a misdiagnosis of the problem. You believe government can solve this problem.
KIRO News Radio on 97.3 FM. The KIRO News Radio app with opinion and analysis at mynorthwest.com.
My name is Carlos, and I'm a Cub Scout. I'm here to talk to you today about becoming a scout like me. Cub Scouts get badges for doing fun activities, and we make friends. Scouts go camping, climbing, and fishing, and swimming together. We play sports and go to parades. Scouts also help people and become the best versions of themselves. Visit bascout.org to find a pack near you, get any questions answered, and sign up for Cub Scouts online.
For seniors, the new year is a good time to reassess finances. If you're struggling with bills, our friend Steve Teitler of Best Mortgage says a reverse mortgage may be a great way to ease your stress.
Seniors tell me all the time, we love our home, we'd love to stay here, but we just can't afford it anymore. A reverse mortgage lets you tap your home equity for tax-free cash to pay off your mortgage, pay off your debts, and maybe put some extra money in the bank. You've worked hard for that home equity. Now let your home work for you. And best of all, you'll have no mortgage payments the rest of your life.
And you always talk to a real person, not an AI robot.
That's right. You'll get a no-pressure consultation directly from me. Never a sales pitch and never an AI bot.
Honest advice you can trust from Best Mortgage, the reverse mortgage experts, the VA loan and debt consolidation experts too. 425-649-6000. Best Mortgage, 425-649-6000.
Every 2 minutes, an American is sexually assaulted. Be the someone who gives their time. Be the someone who lends an ear. Be the someone who takes a step. This is Christina Ricci with RAIN, asking you to join the fight against sexual violence and volunteer in your community. Log on to RAIN.org, that's RAINN.org, to learn how you can be the someone.
This message brought to you by the Rape, Abuse, and Incest National Network and this station.
For a long time, I thought retirement planning was mostly about hitting a number. Get there, and then life starts. Hi, this is Ursula Royteen. What Trajan Wealth helped me see is that the number is really only part of the story. At Trajan Wealth, their advisors are fiduciaries, which means they're obligated to put your needs first, and they start by asking how you actually want your life to feel. When Mark and I sat down with them, we talked about having more time with family, more time to travel, and how to make thoughtful choices without feeling like we had to put today on hold for tomorrow. I have goals for today and for when I retire. If you're ready to start the new year with straight talk and thoughtful guidance, call Trajan Wealth today and schedule a free meeting. Trajan, spelled Trajan. Call 206-656-3300. That's 206-656-3300, or visit TrajanWealth.com.
Advisory services through Trajan Wealth LLC, SEC registered investment advisor. Client paid advertisement. Additional disclosures at TrajanWealth.com.
Some kids never smile. They're embarrassed by their crooked teeth. They want braces like the other kids, but their families can't afford them. Some may even try to straighten their teeth themselves. That can make everything worse. Luckily, there's Donated Orthodontic Services, a program from the American Association of Orthodontists. It helps provide orthodontic treatment to kids and teens whose families can't afford it. For kids who apply, are approved, and are matched with a volunteer orthodontist, it can be life-changing. Their treatment is in the hands of an expert, a licensed local orthodontic specialist who improves their smiles by correctly aligning teeth and jaws. Some kids think they'll never smile again, but Donated Orthodontic Services may help them smile with confidence. To link to the application and eligibility requirements, visit aaoinfo.org.
For the news you trust.
Breaking news we are getting.
Experience matters.
Good afternoon, I'm Aaron Granillo.
James Lynch, KIRO Newsradio.
Good morning, I'm Heather Bosch.
Luke Ducey, KIRO Newsradio.
We're on YouTube, our app, and 97.3 FM.
If you're worried your friend may be struggling, remember, you don't have to be there to be there.
You could say, how are you, or get a fake tattoo. You could ask with an app if it works for you. You could chat on the game, kick off your flip-flops. You could ask on your couch while you binge watch.
Whatever gets you talking. Reach out to a friend about their mental health. Learn how you can help at seizetheawkward.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council, American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, and the JED Foundation.
Start the new year taking active liver supplements from New Nordic. Online at Amazon or NewNordicUSA.com, or at CVS, ShopRite, Meijer Grocery, or Wegmans.
You pledged your life to serve. You made sacrifices, lost loved ones. At VA, we don't see the falls you've taken. We see the 1,000 times you've stood back up. We embrace your uniqueness and won't trivialize your hardships. We can't promise to heal all wounds or wash away all trauma, but we do see a path forward. We see all veterans. We see you. Learn how treatment works and recovery is possible. Visit MakeTheConnection.net.
Adrian here from Lake Washington Windows and Doors. Winter might seem like an odd time to replace your windows, but now is when you get the best deals. Our Leak Armor installation team will keep your home warm and dry while installing beautiful, new energy-efficient windows. You'll feel the difference right away. Quieter rooms, lower energy bills, and a more comfortable home.
Right now, save $600 on windows and $1,500 on doors from Lake Washington Windows and Doors. Plus, enjoy 12 months same-as-cash financing. Visit LakeWashingtonWindows.com.
He flew fighter jets in 2 wars and taught you how to drive a car. He fed everyone on the block, but never shared his secret recipes. And every time he'd tell a story, he'd own the room. But now more than ever, he may feel alone. Today, older adults and their loved ones are struggling to connect in a time when connection has never been more important. But there is something we can do. Embrace our older loved ones through StoryCorps Connect. With StoryCorps Connect, you can honor seniors remotely with an interview about their life. Every interview will be archived at the Library of Congress, becoming part of American history, so that years from now, future generations can listen in.
All right, Grandpa, what's one piece of advice you have for me?
Just 3 words, sweetheart. Live with courage.
The man that had the best stories still has plenty of stories to tell. So connect virtually and share the conversation of a lifetime at StoryCorpsConnect.org/AARP. Connect, honor, share. StoryCorps Connect. A message from AARP, StoryCorps, and the Ad Council.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Jillian Raftery. President Donald Trump says U.S. oversight of Venezuela could last for years. We get that update from CBS News correspondent Michael Wallace.
In an interview with the New York Times last night, the president said Venezuela's interim government, made up of loyalists to Nicolas Maduro, is giving the U.S. everything it needs. He said he expects the U.S. will run the country for years while reviving its neglected oil sector. Trump would not say if he would send troops in if the Venezuelan government refused to give the U.S. access to its oil. He also wouldn't say why he has not installed the winner of last year's Venezuelan presidential election as the country's leader. Michael Wallace, CBS News.
Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy was in Seattle celebrating a new deal for Alaska Airlines to buy more than 100 planes from Boeing.
105 737 MAX 10 planes and 5 787 wide-bodies. All of them painted in Alaska's new Aurora livery. Inside a Seattle hangar where the plane was revealed, Secretary Duffy declared American manufacturing is back.
Whether it's aviation or automotive, we want to make the best products in the world in America and not just sell them to Americans, we want to sell them around the world.
The MAX 10 is not yet certified by the FAA. Alaska says they're confident deliveries will begin by 2027. Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
That Alaska deal includes an option to buy 35 more MAX 10s over the next 10 years. Flu cases continue to rise across the country in what's shaping up to be a severe season. Dr. Tao Kwan-Get is the Washington State Health Officer. He says in our state,
3.3% of people coming to emergency departments are coming to emergency departments for flu symptoms. We're also seeing a rise in hospitalizations. And so far this flu season, we've had 22 laboratory-confirmed deaths due to influenza.
And he says that's likely an undercount. Correspondent Michael George reports on how a vaccine taken during pregnancy protects mothers and newborns.
Receiving a whooping cough vaccination during pregnancy helps protect newborns. Researchers in the Netherlands found that when expecting mothers got a pertussis vaccination at 22 weeks, the antibodies transferred to their newborns. This is significant because babies are extremely vulnerable in their first weeks of life, so this offers them protection even before they're old enough to be vaccinated.
It is 5:33, and that's when we check our traffic, and we are green almost all over the map. I'm seeing some slowing on I-5 northbound, headed through Des Moines. It looks like there's a collision right by, let me zoom in here, right north of 516. I don't know the severity of that condition yet. It hasn't quite been reported, but there is some slowing leading up there about a mile beforehand, but it's not too severe. Tacoma to Seattle is still only about 38 minutes. Everett to Seattle is 35 minutes. Auburn to Renton is 20 minutes, and Bothell to Bellevue is 21 minutes. Checking your weather, we are mostly dry right now along the Puget Sound corridor. There are some showers on the coast, and spotty showers should move in later today, but we're only going to have a high of 44 degrees, so pretty chilly. Overnight lows in the low 40s. Tomorrow morning showers starting our day and a high of 49. Coming up next, we're going to have our CBS headlines.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO Newsradio App. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO Newsradio Northwest News. Seattle's morning news. Hear it live. Stream it online. Watch the show or catch the podcast anytime. Seattle's morning news, wherever you are.
Seattle's morning news on KIRO News Radio.
The criminal prosecution of Venezuela's Nicolas Maduro is underway in New York City. What is expected to be a lengthy legal process as Maduro and his wife have pleaded not guilty to, among other charges, narco-terrorism.
So with a preview of the trial and how it could unfold, we call up former State Attorney General Rob McKenna. Rob, good morning. Let's first start with the charges against Maduro. Is this narco-terrorism charge unique?
No, I mean, other foreigners have been charged with being parts of narcotics conspiracies, terrorism conspiracies. They can overlap. It's not even unique to indict someone who's a foreign leader. We saw that with the president of Honduras. So it is not unique. What is unique here, I suppose you could say, is that he was taken out of the country forcibly while sitting as the head of state. That's another question of whether it was legitimate or not. The United States has not ever recognized him as, or not in recent years recognized him as a legitimate leader. So he's different in that regard from, say, Manuel Noriega in Panama.
Rob, you mentioned removing him from the country. Is that fraught with any legal issues? I mean, you typically think of a search warrant and stuff like that in the U.S. for troops, for, under the CIA going in and pulling him out. Is that something the defense is going to bring up?
Absolutely. And they'll bring it up in the first instance, claiming the United States doesn't have jurisdiction over Maduro because he was immune for prosecution as a sovereign head of a foreign state. Now, that is a principle of international law, of U.S. law, and it's an argument that Manuel Noriega made after he was taken out of Panama 36 years ago, but Noriega's argument failed. The courts rejected it. Of course, Noriega was not the elected president of Panama. He ruled through a series of puppets that he controlled as the head of the military. Maduro was the elected president of Venezuela. However, a series of U.S. administrations dating back at least to the first Trump administration have not recognized him as the elected leader of Venezuela. In fact, they broke off diplomatic relations with Maduro's government in 2019. And after he was reelected by outlawing most of his rival candidates. And then that Trump administration recognized the opposition head of the National Assembly as the country's legitimate leader. The Biden administration also did not recognize Maduro as the legitimate leader. So I don't think his argument is going to hold sway here because the United States simply does not recognize him as a head of state.
Rob, I think you'll know where I'm going with this, so let me ask the easy question first. Is this going to be a grueling trial that takes a lot of time and a lot of intense focus by a judge?
Yes.
Is it absolutely bonkers crazy that the judge in this case is 92 years old?
Well, that is a bit surprising, but judges can change over the course of a long
Rob.
prosecution.
As he's saying, judges can change.
That's the new 82, isn't it, or 72? But
something like that.
I think that I think that this prosecution will not come to a conclusion until after President Trump leaves office. It's going to take a while, and it actually suits the purposes of the U.S. government, because the longer Maduro is out of the country, the less likely it is if he is acquitted or the charges are dismissed for lack of jurisdiction, that he'd be able to go back to the country and become take over his old role again. The longer he's out of the country, the likelier it is we'll see permanent regime change in that country. And at the same time, I think, based on my own reading here of the Noriega case and the facts here, I think the United States will be held to have jurisdiction here. And then it's just a matter of whether or not he's found guilty beyond a reasonable doubt based on the evidence about his cooperation with the Colombians who are moving drugs through Venezuela. And there appears to be quite a bit of evidence that, in fact, he and his wife were involved in facilitating narcotics trafficking through Venezuela.
Coming up, your national headlines. I'm Jillian Raftery, and you're listening to KIRO News Radio.
Seattle voters wanted change.
I campaigned on affordability, on homelessness, on taxing the rich.
Can Mayor Wilson live up to the promises of candidate Wilson?
The self-proclaimed progressive socialist managing high expectations.
Trusted Northwest News voices you depend on.
More government programs, which means more tax dollars.
KIRO News Radio on 97.3 FM. And the KIRO News Radio app.
Now is your time to get into a new D.R. Horton home by taking advantage of its National Red Tag Sales event going on right now through January 25th. Stop by any of its participating communities and find select Red Tag homes at incredible pricing. So whether you're buying your first home or looking for an upgrade, you don't want to miss the Red Tag Sales event going on right now. Discover the D.R. Horton difference. Visit drhorton.com. D.R. Horton, America's builder and equal housing opportunity builder.
Adopt U.S. Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting. A teenager. Learning the lingo.
Today I'm going to help parents translate teen slang. Now, when a teen says something is on fleek, it's exactly like saying, that's rad. It simply means that something is awesome or cool. Another one is totes. It's exactly like saying, totally, just shorter. As in, I totes love going to the mall with Becca. Another word you might hear is jelly. Jelly is a shorter, better way to say jealous. As in, Chloe, I am like so jelly of your unicorn phone case.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will think you're, rad, just the same. To learn more, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Good afternoon, I'm Aaron Granillo.
Your best source for local news.
Newly released police video shows the arrest of a 17-year-old.
KIRO News Radio.
For over 50 years, Bucky's Complete Auto Repair has been the one locals trust for honest pricing, expert service, and guaranteed repairs. This dedication has earned them a Carfax Preferred designation. At Bucky's, every customer gets detailed Carfax updates, timely service reminders, and a full service history all at your fingertips. With 16 family-owned locations, no appointment needed, and easy financing, Bucky's makes auto care simple. Visit Bucky's.com today and drive with confidence. Bucky's.com.
Hi, I'm Dr. Shelley Flace with today's tip for kids from the American Academy of Pediatrics. Kids are full of energy, but keeping them active in their teen years can be a challenge. Aim for an hour of physical activity every day. If they like sports, that's a great place to start. Keep the focus on fun, not winning, and encourage your child to do a variety of activities. If your child isn't meeting that 60-minute goal, gradually increase their activity in ways they enjoy. For more, talk with your pediatrician or visit healthychildren.org.
CBS News Brief. Protests in Minneapolis after a mother of 3 was killed by an ICE officer as she tried to drive away after agents tried to open her car door. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem.
She refused to obey their commands. She then proceeded to weaponize her vehicle.
Mayor Jacob Fry.
Having seen the video of myself, I want to tell everybody directly, that is bull.
Renee Good is at least the 5th person killed by ICE since the administration's immigration crackdown began. CBS's Tony DeCopel asked Border Czar Tom Holman.
Have you seen any examples of clear excessive force displayed by ICE agents and officers in the field?
No.
Police in Salt Lake City searching for suspects after 2 people were shot to death outside a Mormon church. Mayor Erin Mendenhall.
No matter where they go, we will find them. They will be brought to justice.
CBS News Brief. I'm Deborah Rodriguez.
It's 5:43, and here's your forecast. We're going to have a mix of showers today with a high of 44. We're going to have morning showers on Friday, mostly cloudy by Saturday. Right now, it's 38 degrees in downtown Seattle. Coming up, the new legislative session is right around the corner. We're going to hear all about the pre-filed bills from Jerry Cornfield of the Washington State Standard.
For seniors, the new year is a good time to reassess finances. If you're struggling with bills, our friend Steve Teitler of Best Mortgage says a reverse mortgage may be a great way to ease your stress.
Seniors tell me all the time, we love our home, we'd love to stay here, but we just can't afford it anymore. A reverse mortgage lets you tap your home equity for tax-free cash to pay off your mortgage, pay off your debts, and maybe put some extra money in the bank. You've worked hard for that home equity. Now let your home work for you. And best of all, you'll have no mortgage payments the rest of your life.
And you always talk to a real person, not an AI robot.
That's right. You'll get a no-pressure consultation directly from me. Never a sales pitch and never an AI bot.
Honest advice you can trust from Best Mortgage, the reverse mortgage experts, the VA loan and debt consolidation experts too. 425-649-6000. Best Mortgage, 425-649-6000.
I'm worried.
About what?
Water.
Oh?
Hot water, if you really want to know.
Water heater worries?
Worried it's wearing down.
Running out?
The hot doesn't last like it used to.
So you're...
worried.
I got a guaranteed fix.
Let me guess. A new water heater.
Right, but...
that's what worries me.
Well, worry no more.
Why?
What you need is an Apollo Plumbing water heater.
Because?
We include Wrenchy's worry-free warranty.
Wrenchy's what?
Worry-free warranty.
Which means?
When it wears out, we replace it.
No extra charge.
As an A-List Club member, you're covered for life.
For life?
For as long as you're an A-List member. You get annual life-extending water heater flushes included.
So it lasts longer.
Right.
And when it needs replacement,
you're covered.
With no worries.
Because it's Wrenchy's
worry-free warranty.
What else would you expect from the Ready Right Now plumbers?
Apollo Plumbing.
Home of Wrenchy's worry-free warranty.
What about tankless ones?
Worry-free too.
Gotta love that Wrenchy.
ApolloPlumbing.com.
Bringing you Seattle's morning news since 1974. This is KIRO Newsradio.
Now, we are less than a week away from the start of the 2026 legislative session in our state. Already a ton of bill proposals pre-filed, which lawmakers will look to pass in the 60-day sprints to the end of the session.
Throughout the session, we'll be checking in with a bunch of legislative reporters in Olympia, including Jerry Cornfield from the Washington State Standard. He wrote a piece last month about all the pre-filed bills. So good morning, Jerry. Thanks for joining us today. Maybe we can just look at the big picture here. We are looking at a 60-day session. What is different about this session compared to the longer 90-day session?
Well, in a 60-day session, it's a sprint. Everything they have to do, it's a condensed time frame. So they've already pre-filed 400 bills for this year, and they have all the ones left over from last year that didn't get acted on. In about 3 weeks from the start of session, they'll be having to cut that list down. The other thing about the short session, it always coincides with an election year for more than half of the lawmakers. So some of the bills are for them to talk about on the campaign trail. And of course, budget and money. That's what this session is going to be dominated by, that topic.
I was just going to say, I'll bet you a lot of those pre-filed bills have to do with taxes. What are some of the highlights?
Well, you mentioned taxes. There was already a bill filed. We'll call it a cleanup bill, one of the biggest business taxes from last session, a Senate bill. Folks know it well by its number of 5814, dealt with the retail sales tax. There's a cleanup bill. It's 70-some pages long to fix and clarify terminology, and I've been told there'll be another version of it coming out soon. So that's one of those. We've got a whole slew of policy related, whether you're regulating license plate readers. There's some wild ideas about redistricting that are in there, but the more serious ones are the budget-related ones. There are a number of Republican-sponsored bills to try to modify what they passed in terms of new taxes and how far those taxes go. They want to see those debated.
Jerry, I was in a coin shop before Christmas. I bought a silver dollar for each of my kids. I thought it would be a nice gift. And the coin dealers were just kind of beside themselves because you have to pay tax now, not only on silver dollars, you have to pay tax on buying money, but also on the bullion, the silver bullion. Sounds like there is at least some action in Olympia on this.
Well, it's part of the conversation of what they need to fix or update or clarify. I mean, that's one of those where there's a bill introduced to actually just repeal that tax. So I was saying, Republicans have offered different versions of bills to repeal provisions in the big business tax. There's also going to be bills introduced to repeal provisions in the transportation taxes that were passed and took effect. Some of them take effect this year. So, there's a large crowd of folks, if they could fill the room, who have complaints about how those business taxes are being applied.
As long as you mentioned transportation, what about people who are in the market for a new car? There could be some changes coming, right?
Well, I mean, the sales tax goes up in some counties, and then they have some registration fees, and they get the really expensive ones, the luxury ones. There's a luxury tax that's included, and of course, just the weight fee went up, and then the gas tax, we went up in July, and we've mentioned it, but I'm sure it didn't get the headlines. But when they took that action, they also added in a provision that every year it will go up with inflation. So now we will have an annual gas tax increase in the state of Washington.
Jerry, speaking of gas taxes or fees and the CCA getting a lot of comment over the last day or so, what are your thoughts, or what are you reading the tea leaves on whether or not there will be any serious discussion of maybe tweaking how some of that CCA money, almost $4 billion of it so far, can be spent, or where it can be allocated? Do you think that's going to get much traction?
Well, there's going to be sort of two conversations, and I think the louder conversation won't be so much on where the money is appropriate and where it goes. There'll be hearings on watching how it's been spent so far, but the big one was started by the governor when he said he wants to take close to $600 million of those dollars, put them into the general fund to pay for the working families tax credit over the next 18 months. And so they won't go to any carbon reduction, greenhouse gas emission reduction efforts. It'll go to pay for a program that's a social program, and those $600 million can then be used in other places and help the budget.
Jerry,
so that's going to be a big debate.
When we look at the budget, Jerry, is there any talk among Democrats about any potential areas for cutbacks in terms of maybe not spending as much on programs which are tending to cost a lot of money? Is there any of that, or is it seeming like it's just going to be paid for with new taxes?
Well, some of those new tax probably are just starting to take effect on January 1st, so they're projecting how much they'll get. We'll see if they get as much as they hope for. It's kind of like a split screen conversation. On one hand, yes, there'll be cuts in staffing and administration. There'll be some jobs that'll be frozen and won't be filled up, and there'll be reductions in some of the social and healthcare programs. But at the same time, because of the federal bill that was passed and signed into law earlier this year, the state has to ramp up and spend tens of millions of dollars in terms of software, technology, and individuals so they can comply with the federal law. Otherwise, the state will lose money. And so it's one of those, we need to cut on one side, but we have to spend more in order to comply with the new federal requirements concerning like the food assistance program and eligibility program.
Jerry, another thing you highlight in your piece is a possible tuition break. What can you tell us?
That's a tuition break or a tuition increase. There's really it is going up there. The community colleges want to keep it where it's at. The higher education institutions want to keep it where it's at. But the governor's budget, is already proposing, I think it's a 3% cut for the 4-year institutions in the next, in the supplemental budget. So I don't think anyone's going to get a tuition break. There's a bill that would do that. But this is not in a short session. A lot of these ideas will just be talked about. They just can't make these kind of big changes in 60 days.
When we had him on last year, we spoke with House Minority Leader, Republican Drew Stokesbury, and he was actually complimentary in the fact that he had met with Governor Ferguson many more times than he ever met with Governor Inslee. What are you seeing this year? Are they indicating they're still meeting both parties frequently behind the scenes? Is there some sort of, unity behind the scenes?
I think in recent weeks, the unity that you've seen and the conversations that have occurred have been related to the flood damage and the response. There were regularly daily meetings that the governor's office was convening, conference calls for all lawmakers to kind of be kept abreast of what was happening. But when you get to the leadership levels, I think the conversations will continue. But we may see, and I would expect to see, a bit different Governor Bob Ferguson in year 2 of his tenure. He started with, if you will, a bang by saying, hey, I got a proposal. I want to see an income tax. And that probably is not something that Republicans are going to line up on and behind.
Jerry, how many years have you been doing this?
just enough to know this is my third governor. Or fourth governor, actually.
Yeah, well, it is always great to see you reporting. You were kind of a legend when you were in the newspaper business, and now here you are at the Washington State Standard, just playing it straight and keeping people updated every day on the state legislature. Can't encourage people enough to check out WashingtonStateStandard.com. Jerry, thanks for your time this morning.
Well, thank you for having me on. I appreciate the kind words.
We'll look forward to chatting again. Thank you.
It's 38 degrees in downtown Seattle, going to warm up just to 44 with a mix of showers today and clouds. I'm Jillian Raftery. You're listening to KIRO News Radio. Coming up in the next hour, more of the day's top headlines on Seattle's Morning News.
This is your city.
Seattle voters have spoken, and they wanted change.
Wilson really resonated, especially with some younger voters.
On the terms of working people, make it work for them.
Katie Wilson is just actually not afraid to say she's a socialist.
What challenges does the political newcomer face once taking office?
Never having any managerial experience.
Stay with KIRO News Radio and MyNorthwest.com for the latest.
Change takes time, and we don't give it time.
And the KIRO News Radio app.
I love the fact that Mike Novak sells more homes than anybody else. This guy works so hard. You know what's happening? People are selling their homes again. And if you don't have Mike Novak's name on that sign, well, you're wasting your time and your house is just going to be sitting on the market. Mike is so confident that he can sell your house quickly. And for more, you'll pay no commission if Mike Novak doesn't sell that home in 21 days. So go to meetthenovaks.com. I'll spell Novaks for you. Novaks. Meetthenovaks.com.
New year, new you. Have you thought about how your finances might change in 2026? Free checking from WaFd Bank is the way to go. With no minimum balances or monthly maintenance fees to worry about, you get spending tools and the latest technology to help you stay on your budget. Not only is WaFd Bank a best bank, you'll also get useful tools like voice-activated banking, so you can check your balances and make transfers between your accounts when your hands are full. Visit wafdbank.com to open your account. Non-sufficient funds charges may apply. Member FDIC.
Logan Fury did something smart. He saved hundreds on auto insurance switching to Progressive. With that money, he bought a mini treadmill. Is walking on it during video conference calls more distracting than he thought? Yes. And is that because he overestimated his foot-eye coordination? Definitely. But it's Logan's savings, and if he wants to burn calories and any chance at a promotion, we say, good for you, Logan. Switch and see if you could save with Progressive and treat yourself. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment? That's a lie. Most timeshares can be bought online for $1. To find out what your timeshare is worth and to cancel it, call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit kit free with all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley for your free exit info guide. 800-897-4400. That's 800-897-4400.
KIRO News Radio.
Get on the YouTube channel.
We're live all day on YouTube. Every show, every day.
Hang out with us. The whole gang's there.
And you never know what you might see.
Back up the camera. Oh, my God.
Just search KIRO News Radio, then subscribe.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, you can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment? That's a lie. Most timeshares can be bought online for $1. To find out what your timeshare is worth and to cancel it, call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit kit free with all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley for your free exit info guide. 800-897-4400. That's 800-897-4400.
Meet Matthew Preston. Inside his apartment, everything he holds dear is protected by Progressive's renter's insurance, like his laptop and a surprisingly valuable collection of baseball bobbleheads. Outside his apartment, his laptop is still protected, as are his bobbleheads, which he carries around with him for reasons no one knows. Renters, the limits of protection aren't just the four walls of your home. When you're in Progressive's Protection Zone, get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and third-party insurers.
D.R. Horton's National Red Tag Sales Event is going on right now through January 25th. Stop by any of its participating communities and find select Red Tag homes at incredible pricing. Visit drhorton.com. D.R. Horton, America's builder and equal housing opportunity builder.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio, KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle, Northwest News.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Pfizer.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. Protests have returned to the streets of Minneapolis a day after an ICE agent shot and killed a mother of 3 through her SUV window as she tried to drive away when officers told her to get out of the car. Governor Tim Walz.
Minnesota will not allow our community to be used as a prop in a national political fight. We will not take the bait.
Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem is defending the ICE agent.
It's very clear that this individual was harassing and impeding law enforcement operations. Our officer followed his training, did exactly what he's been taught to do in that situation, and took actions to defend himself.
This is Michael Wallace. Minneapolis Police Chief Brian O'Hara told CBS Mornings his officers have been caught in the middle between federal immigration agents and protesters.
We recognize quite obviously that this has been building over the course of several weeks. This was entirely predictable.
O'Hara called for a thorough investigation of the shooting, but noted most police agencies train their officers not to stand in front of unarmed motorists.
Police in Salt Lake City are searching for suspects after 2 people were shot to death outside a Mormon church while a funeral service was taking place inside. Mayor Erin Mendenhall.
No matter where they go, we will find them. They will be brought to justice.
Police do not believe the shooter or shooters were targeting Mormons. 6 people were critically injured. President Trump tells the New York Times U.S. oversight of Venezuela could last for years. He says only time will tell. Americans seem to be split on the issue along party lines. CBS's Jennifer DePinto has results of our new poll.
A big majority of Democrats disapprove of the U.S. military action in Venezuela, as do most independents. Republicans approve, and even more MAGA Republicans support the action now. 97% of them do, than supported the idea of it back in November.
Record snowfall has collapsed roofs, closed schools, even sunk boats in Juneau, Alaska. Deputy City Manager Robert Barr.
We reached the point where our our resources that we were applying to this winter storm event were getting to be exhausted.
49 inches of snow fell in Juneau last week. Google is adding new AI features to its Gmail service, like proofreading and recommended to-dos. CBS's Ian Scher.
Using AI to sort through most of the email that many of us don't read anyway, or even be able to identify important things that need to be done can be really useful. Of course, it has to actually work.
Dow futures are down 181. This is CBS News.
You still got it, but your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Sponsored by...
All right. Well, 6:03 now. We check in with Sully at the traffic desk.
Welcome to Thursday. We're off to a pretty decent start. Some brake lights in the usual places, especially if you're coming up the Valley Freeway, right there at Highway 18 with the worry of weaving and merging. But overall, about a 42-minute trip from Puyallup to Renton. Really not that bad. Renton to Bellevue still quiet through those S-curves. Only 15 minutes to go from Renton to Bellevue. Olympia to Tacoma, no problem for you guys. Freeway speed the entire way. And then Federal Way to Seattle does have some off and on congestion through the Kent Des Moines Road. About 40 minutes, maybe a little under, to make that trip. Coming down from the north end, no real issues in Snohomish County or North King. Coming out of the Everett area, heading to Seattle or Bellevue, you only need about 35 minutes at this point. Lake bridges are quiet. I'll be also watching the passes pretty closely again today. This report brought to you by Subaru of Puyallup. Confident winter driving starts at Subaru of Puyallup. Find stress-free pricing at SubaruofPuyallup.com and enjoy stress-free buying at Subaru of Puyallup, your stress-free dealership.
Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and MyNorthwest.com.
Live from East Lake Avenue,
Seattle's morning news.
Good morning. It's 6:04. I'm Charlie Harger. Manda has the day off. There were protests last night against ICE in downtown Seattle. as hundreds gathered after Renee Good was shot and killed by ICE enforcement in Minneapolis yesterday. National media has identified Good as a mother of three who lived in the neighborhood where the confrontation with ICE took place. With videos circulating widely online, Good's death is still being investigated. We're getting reaction from local members of Congress over the shooting. Here's KIRO News Radio's Jillian Raftery.
Outrage and demands for a full investigation from Washington's Democratic representatives in Congress. On X, Senator Maria Cantwell said the shooting of Renee Nicole Good was, quote, deeply disturbing, and we cannot have federal agents killing people in our neighborhoods. Senator Patty Murray went further and called it an execution and that the Department of Homeland Security needed to rein in, quote, out-of-control agents. Representative Pramila Jayapal of Seattle wrote that the reaction from the Trump administration was disgusting and that ICE needs to get out of cities. Jillian Raftery for KIRO News Radio.
Now, KIRO has reached out to Washington's two Republican representatives, Michael Baumgartner and Dan Newhouse. Both represent districts in eastern Washington. We will bring you their comments as we get them. There are growing questions about how Washington state oversees its child care subsidies. It comes as fraud allegations in Minnesota have drawn national attention, with members of the Somali community accused of stealing millions in child care funds. Washington State Auditor Pat McCarthy is now finalizing an audit of a $770 million child care subsidy program run by the Department of Children, Youth, and Families. But former state auditor Brian Sontag says that may not be enough. Como reports he's calling for an even broader review of DCYF spending. Sontag says when agencies rush to get money out the door, sometimes the controls aren't there to protect it. A 2024 audit found DCYF didn't have adequate safeguards, though it didn't allege any wrongdoing. Last fiscal year, the agency reported about $2 million in overpayments, mostly for missing attendance records or overbilled hours. There was one criminal conviction for child care fraud. Sontag says the public is asking questions and deserves answers. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy was in Seattle celebrating a new deal for Alaska Airlines to buy more than 100 planes from Boeing.
105 737 MAX 10 planes and 5 787 wide-bodies, all of them painted in Alaska's new Aurora livery. Inside a Seattle hangar where the plane was revealed, Secretary Duffy declared American manufacturing is back.
Whether it's aviation or automotive, we want to make the best products in the world in America and not just sell them to Americans, we want to sell them around the world.
The MAX 10 is not yet certified by the FAA. Alaska says they're confident deliveries will begin by 2027. Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
Keeping you informed since 1974.
This is the city's longest-running radio news show.
Seattle's Morning News on KIRO News Radio.
Well, here we are, Thursday, January 8th. Nick Allard likes to call it Friday Eve. Thursday. Sully, you ready for the weekend? I am so ready for the weekend. Yeah.
It seems like Monday morning comes along and I'm ready for the weekend.
Well, the thing is, the past 2 weeks we've had, Christmas and New Year's, so we've had a nice little break in the middle of the week.
Off and on days here and there. Yeah, it's kind of weird. Yeah, so we're all pulling into Friday, I think, with a little less gas in the tank.
Tank might be on. Producer David Burbank is in the studio with us this morning. Nick Freisha in the control room and picking the tunes this morning, and Jillian Raftery filling in for Katrina out there at the news desk. This hour of Seattle's Morning News, sponsored by American Crawl Space and Pest Control. Sully, you have a choke point coming up?
Yeah, I do. We've got another birth taking place. This one is an interchange down in DuPont, so I got to break down exactly what's going to be opening to drivers here maybe in a couple of weeks.
Okay, and KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey has a tech talk. Cyber experts are worried about AI hacking. Luke has details coming up. 6:09 now. A man once known as a Native American activist has been sentenced to more than 46 years in prison for raping two Seattle women. Seattle Times reports 49-year-old Red Wolf Pope has been convicted of 5 counts of rape, 4 counts of voyeurism. Prosecutors say he recorded the assaults and hid cameras in his home. Pope represented himself at trial and claimed the videos were deep fakes. Victims say they believe there are more women who never came forward. He has since been disenrolled from his tribe. Two men are recovering at Harborview following an early morning stabbing. It happened about 6:30 yesterday morning at Freeway Park downtown near I-5. SPD says witnesses say it started with an attempted robbery. Detective Brian Pritchard says 3 suspects fled before police arrived.
A canine unit was called, and they did a search, but they could not find any suspect.
Both men expected to recover. Bremerton police say a parking complaint led to a major bust. Officers spotted gun parts and a 3D printer inside a car blocking a crosswalk. A search of the car and a nearby home found about 24 ghost gun frames, 3 devices that convert handguns into machine guns, cocaine, meth, counterfeit cash. A suspect has been identified but not arrested. Crime scene DNA test results in minutes rather than weeks or months. It's the emerging technology now in the hands of King County Sheriff's deputies. KIRO News Radio's James Lynch has details.
It's called a rapid DNA machine. It can process crime scene DNA in just 90 minutes. King County Sheriff's Captain Chris Leba says that will reduce the number of samples that need to be sent to the Washington State Patrol Crime Lab.
Let's say 100 sexual assault kits, and we only get viable DNA out of, let's say, 20 of the kits. Those 20 victims are getting justice faster because they're sitting in a queue of 20 instead of a queue of 100.
It cost about $230,000, paid for by a federal grant. King County expects to begin using the machine for low-level felony cases by the end of this month. James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
Flu cases continue to rise across the country in what's shaping up to be a severe season. Dr. Tao Quan Get is the Washington State Health Officer. He says in our state,
2.3% of people coming to emergency departments are coming to emergency departments for flu symptoms. We're also seeing a rise in hospitalizations. And so far this flu season, we've had 22 laboratory-confirmed deaths due to influenza.
He says that's likely an undercount. Because the flu season can extend into April, it's not too late to get a flu shot, which can protect you from becoming severely ill. CDC estimates there have been 11 million flu cases across the country so far this season. Lights are back on at Stevens Pass. Power outage shut down the ski area yesterday. More now from KIRO 7 TV's Dee Dee Sun.
First of all, they had a late season opening because of a lack of snow. Plus, access to the slopes on US 2 is still limited after historic rain caused slides and severe road damage. There is now a pilot car leading drivers across construction zones to access Stevens Pass. The resort says teams will complete early morning assessments on the power outage today and will provide an update on reopening at 7 a.m.
It's 6:12. It's time to get a check on weather. It's brought to us by State Roofing and Exteriors. Nick Allard, happy Friday Eve.
You too, and we're starting off the morning with mainly calm conditions. We do have some isolated showers. You know, a place like Morton had a little bit of snow overnight on the ground thanks to a few showers pushing through. We had some showers earlier, and at the moment, a dormant Puget Sound convergence zone along like into Skagit County, the north end of Snohomish County. And I think what we'll find when we head out is mainly dry weather. We have temps that are cool in the 20s and 30s, and only a couple of spots are below freezing. You'll see spotty showers for most of the area, and with the snow level at about 800 to 1,000 feet, that should mainly just mean a little bit of, cold rain. But later this morning, the convergence zone activity will kick in again, and I think, around the north end of Snohomish County, Skagit County, those areas could see more showers, and if it's heavy enough, may see some snow or some wet snow, some slushy stuff like you had in Whatcom County yesterday, but it won't really last, and into the afternoon, we're going to see that taper off, and we don't really see much besides that today, just a few showers, but you still have the winter storm warning in the passes, another 4 to 10 inches of snow there, and it will be only in the low to mid 40s this afternoon with just a couple of spotty showers, drying out more later today. And then actually, after some brief morning rain tomorrow, we're drier, we're warmer, and we stay dry again until Saturday evening with rain Sunday in the 50s. So snow level Sunday way higher, like closer to 5,000 feet versus the 800 feet we had this morning.
Low to mid 40s. That's kind of how it feels in the studio right now, Nick.
Well, I mean, there's a thermostat, right?
What?
Or do they cut you guys off?
Oh, man, they've got that under lock and key.
I have some coal. We have coal here. I'll let you borrow some.
That's a bad idea, Nick.
Well, whatever it
wait.
takes. 220, 221.
In Seattle right now, it's 37. Time to check traffic. Here's Sully at the traffic desk.
And Nick had mentioned the mountains, so I just did a quick wrap-up of the passes right now on Snoqualmie Pass. Traction tires are required. On Stevens Pass, traction tires are advised. And on White, traction tires are required. So we're watching that pretty closely. They kind of change at times throughout the morning with the new conditions. So we're watching that. The roads on the freeways down here looking really good. We do have braking here and there, but travel time's manageable. You're looking at Puyallup to Renton of about 40 minutes, with 20 of those minutes out of Auburn. We have some brake lights there right at the weaving and merging. Once you get through that, it's not bad. Even up through Renton to Bellevue is only 15 minutes there. Northbound I-5, Olympia to Tacoma's got about a 35-minute trip, maybe a little under. And then Federal Way to Seattle's running right around 40. Coming down from the north end, we're looking pretty good. There's a little hesitation on southbound I-5 right there at the Mill Creek interchange. Again, that's just a little bit of volume as people are merging there to get to 405. 35 minutes from Everett to Seattle or Everett to Bellevue. Those are very good travel times. KIRO News Radio Real-Time Traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Hey, oh, let's go.
Now, Choke Points with Chris Sullivan.
Presented by Carter Subaru.
All right, Sully, so we had earlier this week how it's going to be months of hell going across the Ship Canal Bridge starting this weekend.
Yep.
But there might be a little bright spot for drivers in the South Sound.
Yeah, there's always good and bad.
Yeah.
But this is what we call the birth of an interchange.
Okay.
Happy Parents, WashDOT, and I-5. But down in the DuPont area, drivers should be getting a crack at the new interchange at the Silicon DuPont Road here maybe in a couple of weeks. The Washington Department of Transportation is expecting to open the new southbound access to this new interchange by the middle of the month.
This is a partial turn on. One of the benefits of this is it helps us accelerate the construction schedule, get the work done. We're on time. We're on schedule with this.
WashDOT's Doug Adamson says a new roundabout just north of the freeway will also open at the same time. This is a new exit for southbound drivers, so you need to be paying attention. Drivers heading to DuPont on southbound I-5 will take a right to that new roundabout. Drivers heading to JBLM will take a left from this new exit. Now, northbound drivers coming up into the area will continue to use the old exit and overpass, as will drivers in JBLM looking to get to DuPont or southbound I-5.
Later on in spring, we'll fully open the new overpass, and we'll have the demolition of the existing overpass, which is low. It doesn't meet our standards. It's been hit before by two tall trucks.
It was built in 1957, so they need to take care of that. The removal of that old overpass will take several overnight closures of I-5. Those dates haven't been released, but we're looking at the spring timeframe. This new overpass will also drop drivers off on the other side of the railroad tracks, which is a really good thing. That will eliminate backups and increase safety.
This new overpass will actually go over the railroad tracks where the trains are going at 79 miles an hour.
Yeah, so that's always a good thing to try to really get rid of that conflict point. The new HOV lanes between Gravelly Lake Drive and Mounts Road, which are also part of this project, are expected to open over the summer, which is also a very good thing. This is the final piece of construction that has added the new overpasses and HOV lanes through JBLM over the last couple of years. It has made the drive through the area better, but not without a little pain.
We understand fully that we are moving the bottleneck. Let's have a reality check here. It will, though, however, have a significant improvement for people serving our country at Joint Base Lewis McChord.
If you've ever driven southbound I-5 through this area, especially like on a Friday afternoon as everyone's kind of heading down to the beach, slowly but surely the backup starts further south as you go, as they've kind of moved this project further south. And once this project wraps up, southbound I-5 will, of course, slim back down to 3 lanes between Mounts Road down into Lacey. And, of course, that will continue to move the congestion a little bit. But it's kind of cleaning things out through the area. But, of course, that backup will not really disappear until WashDOT takes up the next piece of the puzzle, which is widening I-5 in both directions all the way through Nisqually. That project, of course, requires new bridges over the Nisqually River. Initial work on that is just getting going. The project's years away. They don't have any funding for it. They really haven't started designing or doing the environmental work of what it'll be like going through that very sensitive environmental area. But this is good news. We're opening up a new interchange here over the next, for southbound drivers here in a couple weeks, and then for everybody else in a couple of months. So that's always some positive when road work wraps up.
That HOV lane ever going to work down there?
It's interesting.
Come on, man.
It works really good until you get it. As I said, it's just further south where the backup starts. I mean, it used to go, and then you back up getting through, say, Bridgeport. And then now it doesn't happen until you're kind of south of the main gate. And then it's kind of pushed down towards DuPont. And when this is wrapped up, it'll be right around Mounts Road where we'll see the backup starting. So, adding that provides a little bit of extra capacity, a little bit of different, availability for people to do it. So it's a good thing. But yeah, that whole freeway needs to be widened all the way down through Lacey and whatnot. So, but yeah, I mean, it works when it works. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, as Doug admits, they know they're just moving things down the road a little bit.
It has to be tough. I was down in Puyallup yesterday at the fairgrounds, actually, and I headed back north on 167. And I'm looking around. A lot of stuff is blocked off, markings and stuff like that. Turns out, WashDOT just put this out. On Monday, they're going to open 4 miles of northbound 167 for hot lanes.
Yeah. Well,
it's all getting marked now.
Almost close to 6 miles now. Yep. And if you think about it, that tolling equipment and tolling operation was supposed to go active in October when it went active from Auburn up to Renton, but it was postponed after the bridge strike. They didn't think it was fair to start tolling people when there was only like one lane open during those. So now, that'll go active on Monday now that all the lanes have reopened there. So you'll be able to drive into a hot lane from Sumner all the way into Renton come Monday. So
get ready to pay up, folks.
Yeah, and again, reminder, you'll need a flex pass in there to drive in that lane for free, or you will be charged the toll.
All right.
Yeah. But so the work was obvious there.
It was very obvious.
Good.
And, getting onto 167, I had stopped at the Fred Meyer there in Puyallup, and then they have this interesting way of getting onto the freeway. Very confusing right now. So hopefully they'll get those markings all figured out.
Yeah, it'll be good. It'll happen, and people will adapt.
Okay, well, I just get worried about this sort of stuff.
I know you do.
Silly. All right. It is 6:21. There are some big changes in the government's dietary guidelines. Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. wants us all to eat more protein, fresh vegetables, and dairy instead of highly processed foods. CBS News White House correspondent Nancy Cordes spoke to Kennedy about the changes.
The new guidelines urge Americans to avoid highly processed packaged foods in favor of protein, full-fat dairy, and healthy fats.
You said you're ending the war on saturated fats. Where is the evidence that that is a good idea?
Well, the problem is that there is no good evidence that saturated fats drive cardiac disease.
The American Heart Association said the opposite, that sodium and saturated fats are primary drivers of cardiovascular disease. Still, many health organizations applauded the new pyramid's focus on fruits and vegetables after they slammed Kennedy earlier in the week for changes to the nation's childhood vaccine schedule. The new CDC guidelines now recommend that parents talk to their child's doctor before deciding whether to vaccinate against RSV, hepatitis, rotavirus, and the flu.
There are 290 kids who died last year due to the flu. There's no evidence that any kids died or were harmed due to the flu vaccine. So isn't this inevitably going to lead to more children dying?
There is no evidence that the flu vaccine prevents serious disease or that it prevents hospitalizations or death in children. There's no scientific evidence, and what we tried to do is to follow the science.
The American Academy of Pediatrics disputed that, calling the changes dangerous and unnecessary and urging parents to stick to the old guidelines.
That's Nancy Cordes reporting from CBS News. 6:23 now. We head over to Sully, who's watching the roadways for us.
And we're enjoying a pretty good day so far. It's early and there isn't a lot of action. The northbound 167 corridor does have brake lights right there at Highway 18 past Emerald Downs, but we're under 45 minutes to go from Puyallup up to Renton. And then Renton to Bellevue is only 15 to 16 minutes, so that's really good. Olympia to Tacoma has no issues at this point, and Tacoma itself is quiet, followed by a Federal Way to Seattle drive of about 42, 43 minutes. A little bit more action on southbound I-5 right near 164th. There, as you work your way past the Mill Creek interchange, give yourself about 40 minutes from Everett to Seattle or Everett to Bellevue. The lake bridges continue to be in very good shape, so all in all, we're off to a good start on this Thursday morning. KIRO News Radio real-time traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
All right, looking at the forecast, it's going to be kind of rainy in the morning. A few showers throughout the day are possible. Also, some sun breaks by the afternoon. High of 44. Morning showers tomorrow. Afternoon sun breaks. Partly cloudy for Saturday, high of 49, and rain at times on Sunday with highs in the upper 40s. Right now in Seattle, it's 38. Coming up on Seattle's Morning News, KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey on everything that Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy said on his trip to Seattle yesterday, plus your opening bell report. This is KIRO News Radio.
After voters made it clear they want change.
That I will faithfully conduct myself as the mayor of the city of Seattle.
What should Seattle residents expect from Mayor Katie Wilson?
She talked a lot about our affordability crisis.
Northwest News voices you depend on.
It's a misdiagnosis of the problem. You believe government can solve this problem.
KIRO News Radio on 97.3 FM. The KIRO News Radio app with opinion and analysis at mynorthwest.com.
Veterans, the new year's a good time to re-examine finances. If you're struggling with bills, VA loan expert Steve Teitler of Best Mortgage says he may have a solution.
Many veterans are sitting on a lot of home equity, and even with a low mortgage rate, your total monthly payments may be a struggle. The good news is with today's lower VA loan rates, you can do a VA cash-out refinance and pay off your high-interest rate debt and roll everything into one low monthly payment. For example, one VA client saved more than $1,200 per month. And remember, with a VA loan, you can buy a home with no money down.
And you always talk to a real person, not an AI robot.
That's right. Whether you're a veteran or seeking a conventional loan, you'll talk directly to me or an experienced senior advisor, never an AI bot.
Honest advice you can trust. From Best Mortgage, the VA loan experts. 425-649-6000. Best Mortgage. 425-649-6000.
It's game day. Are your moderate to severe Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms keeping you from the action? Skyrizi, risankizumab Riza, could help you get back to the game. Skyrizi is proven to help people feel significant symptom relief, achieve remission, and visibly improve damage of the intestinal lining. Skyrizi is a prescription injection medicine for adults. Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines. Liver problems leading to hospitalization may occur when treated for Crohn's or ulcerative colitis.
Control is everything to me.
Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 prescribed biologic in Crohn's and ulcerative colitis combined. Learn more at skyrizi.com or 1-866-SKYRIZI.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You sort through tons of resumes and you get too many so-so applicants. You're just waiting for someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now, there's a place where you can meet them fast. ZipRecruiter.
Need to hire right away. Start your search for strong candidates. The right fit awaits. Build your team. Build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/radio right now to try it for free. And you're on your way to meeting your match. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. So try it now. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
Now is your time to get into a new D.R. Horton home by taking advantage of its National Red Tag Sales event going on right now through January 25th. Stop by any of its participating communities and find select Red Tag homes at incredible pricing. So whether you're buying your first home or looking for an upgrade, you don't want to miss the Red Tag Sales event going on right now. Discover the D.R. Horton difference. Visit drhorton.com. D.R. Horton, America's builder and equal housing opportunity builder.
How about a New Year's resolution where the commitment takes just one day and the results can last a lifetime? Address years of hair loss like I did with Advanced Hair's simple one-day treatment. Using your own natural hair, Advanced Hair can restore your bald spot, receding hairline, or thinning. All backed by Advanced Hair's guarantee. Celebrate the new year with a free consultation, $250 off, and 250 free hair grafts. 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com.
Join Northwest Hope and Healing for Cork, Fork, and Support, an afternoon of wine tasting and inspiration benefiting local breast and gynecologic cancer patients. Get your tickets now for January 31st. Go to nwhopeandhealing.org to learn more.
No heat, electrical issues, frozen pipes, no power? John Curley here, recommending you call Home Comfort Alliance. For over 40 years doing heating, cooling, plumbing, and electrical right, including standby generators. Call the comfort people at homecomfortalliance.com.
Gold, platinum, and Grammy-winning trumpeter Chris Bodie crossed over from jazz to pop stardom. Now he's crossing back. Hear his return to acoustic jazz and classic standards live at Jazz Alley, January 14th through 18th. Tickets at jazzalley.com.
Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and MyNorthwest.com.
Live from East Lake Avenue,
Seattle's morning news.
Good morning. It's 6:30. I'm Charlie Harger. Manda Factor has the day off. The police chief in Minneapolis is calling for calm after yesterday's deadly shooting of a woman by an ICE officer. More from CBS's Michael Wallace.
This is Michael Wallace. Minneapolis Police Chief Brian O'Hara told CBS Mornings his officers have been caught in the middle between federal immigration agents and protesters.
We recognize quite obviously that this has been building over the course of several weeks. This was entirely predictable.
O'Hara called for a thorough investigation of the shooting, but noted most police agencies train their officers not to stand in front of unarmed motorists.
I would hope no matter what side of politics people are on, we can recognize that the loss of a human life is a tragedy.
Michael Wallace, CBS News.
Watching live coverage out of St. Paul, Minnesota this morning, it does appear that protesters and it appears to be some sort of federal agents. They are scuffling, shouting at each other. We've seen a couple of protesters tackled by police and detained. Might even have some tear gas going off. So we will be keeping an eye on that throughout the morning. Meantime, President Trump tells the New York Times the U.S. could stay in control of Venezuela for years. Yesterday, U.S. forces seized 2 more oil tankers under international sanctions for ties to Venezuela. Here's CBS's Charlie D'Agata.
Administration officials Wednesday laid out how the ongoing quarantine on oil out of Venezuela is playing into the larger plan for the U.S. to take over the country's massive oil reserves.
We are going to take between 30 and 50 million barrels of oil. We're going to sell it in the marketplace. That money will then be handled in such a way that we will control how it is dispersed in a way that benefits the Venezuelan people, not corruption, not the regime.
That oil alone, worth between $2 and $3 billion, would be taken by tankers and brought to port in the United States.
Well, it's a big deal for 2 Washington-based companies. Alaska Airlines has placed the largest order in its history, agreeing to buy more than 100 jets from Boeing. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy was here in Seattle for that deal signing ceremony. And KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey is here in the studio with more. Good morning, Luke.
Yeah, Charlie, big deal for Alaska, the largest ever. So we're talking about a total of 110 planes from Boeing, 105 737 MAX 10 planes, and 5 787 wide bodies. There's also an option for 35 more MAX planes on the same timeline over the next 10 years. Well, Secretary Duffy told Seattle Red 770, this deal means American manufacturing is back.
Yeah, it's a big deal. So, again, this is a sign that American manufacturing is back, whether it's airplanes or autos. We're going to make the best products in the world, not just for Americans, but we're going to make those products for the rest of the world.
Yeah, and it stems, of course, after Alaska's door plug blowout. We all remember that, and that 737 MAX 9 plane operated by Alaska out of Portland. The pilot of that flight, Captain Brandon Fisher, is now suing Boeing for $10 million. This incident happened 2 years ago. He's claiming that Boeing tried to blame him and his co-pilot for that door plug failure. No one was injured in that incident. Severely, I should say. No one lost their life. During their deal signing ceremony yesterday, Boeing CEO Kelly Ortberg touched on that. He said they've been working closely with Alaska after that incident.
We've listened to you. You've given us good ideas, and I hope that we can continue that benchmarking as we continue to always look for improvements in the safety and quality of our processes.
And Secretary Duffy also echoed that, saying that they've also been working with Ortberg to navigate through the fatal crashes in the aftermath of those, two 737 MAX planes back in 2018 and 2019. Now, back to the Alaska deal. The MAX 10 is not yet certified by the FAA. Alaska says, however, they are confident deliveries will begin by 2027. Charlie, no word on how much money we're talking about here on this deal, but Alaska right now is the fourth largest airline in the world. Remember, they acquired Hawaiian Airlines not too long ago, so they're going to need some planes.
Okay, well,
they've got them.
Good news for two local companies. Thank you, Luke. Time to check traffic now. We have Sully with his eyes on the roads for us this morning.
And so far, it's not too bad. The heaviest braking is on the Valley Freeway. We're going to see that really materialize getting into and through the Highway 18 interchange. It's about 45 to 48 minutes to go from Puyallup to Renton, with 25 of those minutes from Auburn. There's just kind of the meandering slowing, even through Kent on the way up. And then Renton to Bellevue is a little bit under 20 minutes, so not too bad there. The Federal Way to Seattle Drive, about 45 minutes now, off and on, just slight congestion as you work your way up through about 188th and SeaTac, and then a nice gap, and then a little bit more past the West Seattle Bridge. Behind that, the Olympia to Tacoma Drive is only 35 minutes. The lake bridges are quiet. Coming down from the north end, not too bad yet. Under 45 minutes from Everett to Seattle or Everett to Bellevue, so pretty good. This report brought to you by Seattle Sports. You can always listen to your favorite local sports content on the FM dial, 97.3 HD2.
And the forecast looks like we will have a few scattered showers. A high of 44 today. Afternoon sun breaks, too. Sun breaks tomorrow, mixed with showers. 49 for the high. 49 the next couple of days after that. Weekend looks to be mostly cloudy Saturday. Some sun breaks. Sunday, rain at times. Right now in Seattle, it's 37 at 6:35. Makes it time for the opening bell report. CBS News asked people to weigh in on how well they think President Trump is handling the economy. CBS News correspondent Jesse Mitchell has the results.
The latest CBS News poll shows low approval ratings for President Trump on the economy and inflation. More than 60% of Americans disapprove of his handling of both issues, with fewer than 40% of people surveyed saying they approve. When it comes to the current U.S. involvement in Venezuela, Americans seem almost evenly split on whether they believe it will hurt, help, or have no impact on the economy.
And Mitchell tells us that U.S. job openings declined to a 14-month low in November.
The latest Labor Department data shows employers posted 7.1 million jobs by the end of November, down from 7.4 million jobs the previous month. The report found layoffs also decreased in November, further adding to what economists are calling a low hire, low fire job market.
Lawmakers in the House of Representatives vote today on whether to extend health care subsidies. Here's CBS's Nicole Killian.
A bill to extend Affordable Care Act tax subsidies cleared a procedural hurdle Wednesday. 9 Republicans joined Democrats to discharge the measure and force a final vote Thursday. The proposal would provide a clean extension of the enhanced tax credits for 3 years. The subsidies were at the center of the shutdown fight last fall. They expired at the end of December. Without an extension, the nonprofit KFF says premium payments would go up an average of 114% for millions of Americans who are enrolled in the healthcare exchange. Nicole Killian, CBS News, Washington.
President Trump wants to ban institutional investors from buying single-family homes.
In a social media post, the president said people live in homes, not corporations. He said banning institutional investors from buying homes would help make houses more affordable for Americans. Many experts say those institutional purchases have reduced the housing supply, driving up prices. But the nonpartisan think tank, the American Enterprise Institute, says banning corporations from buying homes may hurt more than help because they buy and renovate derelict homes, then put them back on the market. Michael Wallace, CBS News.
Why is an affordability problem leading to fewer sales of affordable vehicles? This is Jeff Gilbert with the Core Chronicles. The answer, says Cox Automotive's Aaron Keating, is because economic pressures are being felt more by those with lower incomes.
The new vehicle market became a luxury goods market through pure math. In our current economy, when it takes 36 plus weeks of median income to afford the average new vehicle, fewer households can afford to step into a new vehicle.
So even small and mid-sized cars are out of their price range, but people who can afford larger vehicles are actually feeling pretty secure.
The people who can still afford new vehicles are buying what they want, larger premium vehicles. Everyone else, they didn't downgrade to a compact car. They left the new market entirely.
That has pushed the average transaction price of a new vehicle into the $50,000 range. With the Core Chronicles, I'm Jeff Gilbert, CBS News.
Google adding new AI features to its Gmail service. Here's CBS's Ian Scher.
Companies like OpenAI, Apple, and Google are trying to make this technology work in ways to help us learn to manage our health records or our email or our calendars. The key question will be whether this can actually work, or if it's going to be like the self-driving cars that they keep promising will always show up and yet still haven't fully arrived. Ian Scher, CBS News.
Okay, taking a look at some local stocks as the trading day opens on Wall Street. Alaska Airlines is down 2%. Zillow is down 0.7%. But Costco up 2%. And Starbucks is basically flat. On Wall Street, the Dow Jones Industrial Average is off fractionally. NASDAQ is down 0.4%, and the S&P 500 is down 0.1%. 6:39 now. Sully, what's coming up in traffic?
Well, it looks like we might have a new crash on the Valley Freeway just north of Kent. I'll break it down for you next.
The opening bell is brought to you by Legacy Group Capital Common Sense Lending.
Seattle voters wanted change.
I campaigned on affordability, on homelessness, on taxing the rich.
Can Mayor Wilson live up to the promises of candidate Wilson?
The self-proclaimed progressive socialist managing high expectations.
Trusted Northwest News voices you depend on.
More government programs, which means more tax dollars.
KIRO News Radio on 97.3 FM and the KIRO Newsradio app.
Start having fun. Caesar Sportsbook at Muckleshoot Casino Resort is your #1 place to eat, drink, watch, and have fun. Keep up with your favorite sports anywhere and everywhere on property with the mobile app. Visit muckleshootcasino.com today. Scan the QR code and let the play begin.
Muckleshoot. Guys, if your energy is low, your strength isn't what it used to be, or your drive feels off, it's not just getting older. For many men, it's low testosterone. At Revive Men's Health Washington, you can start with a free T-check, exam, and consultation, so you get real answers about your testosterone levels and overall health. And this month only, qualified patients may receive 25% off testosterone replacement therapy. This isn't guesswork or one-size-fits-all treatment. Revive specializes in personalized, closely monitored testosterone care designed to help men feel stronger, sharper, and more like themselves again. With over 120,000 patients treated since 2011, Revive Men's Health is trusted for results, not hype. If you've been putting this off, now is the time to act. Claim your free T-check and consultation and see if you qualify for 25% off TRT. This month only. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com. Terms apply, must medically qualify.
Eric Johnson here. I spent the past 30 years working to help make our community better. Better informed, better protected when it comes to consumer issues, and better equipped to take on whatever life throws at us. That's why I love the free Washington Accident book series from Davis Law Group. These books keep us better informed about the law, better able to protect ourselves on and off the road, and better off when all is said and done after an accident. Chris Davis didn't have to write these books. He did it because he saw a need. People who were in accidents or other legal situations didn't know what to do, what pictures to take, documents to request. Only a tiny fraction of the people who get these free books will ever become clients of Davis Law Group, but that's not the point. Chris wrote them because it was the right thing to do. The free Washington Accident Book Series is a must-have for drivers who want to be prepared for whatever the road might throw at them. Get yours at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
Time to check traffic at 6:43. We have traffic on the threes with Chris Sullivan.
And we do have a crash on northbound 167 just north of Kent, just approaching 212. It's in the left lane involving a couple of different cars, so I'm assuming we might have to block a little bit more as more folks show up to this. We're starting to see about a 50-minute trip to go from Puyallup to Renton. That's our one little spot overall. We do have some growing volume in the Renton S-curves on northbound 405. You need 20 minutes to get up to Bellevue. Also seeing a little bit more on northbound I-5 past the West Seattle Bridge and getting up through the Kent Des Moines Road. 45 minutes, maybe 46 to go from Federal Way to Seattle. Behind that, Olympia to Tacoma, not bad at all. Coming down from the north end, still seeing some off and on slowing past the Mill Creek interchange, a little bit more in Mount Lake Terrace and Canyon Park, getting closer to 45 minutes to make the trip from Everett to Seattle or Everett to Bellevue. KIRO News Radio Real-Time Traffic, I'm Chris Sullivan.
Headed for a high in the mid-40s today. Scattered showers, a few showers tomorrow, but also partly sunny in the afternoon, a high of 49. Seattle right now is 37. Coming up, we have Tech Talk with Luke Ducey, why cyber experts are sounding the alarm about AI. That's on the way on Seattle's Morning News.
Hey, it's Jason Rance. I'm here with our local tax expert and advocate, Greg Nunn from None Better Tax Resolution. Last year, the big news, obviously, was the accomplishment of the big, beautiful bill. But that also comes with some big, beautiful changes to the IRS.
There are some big, beautiful changes going on. And so many of those changes in the big, beautiful bill impact 2025. There's definitely some big spiffs in there for the ordinary working person. One thing that I'm really disappointed in is the way that things have been communicated in regards to the Social Security. It is still going to be taxed. It's not like it's not going to be taxed, but it will be, for most people, a reduction in the amount of tax.
If you're having trouble with the IRS, then call Greg Nunn. None Better Tax Resolution. From stress to success with IRS Solutions. 425-947-1967 or Google NUNN. None Better Tax Resolution.
Now is your time to get into a new D.R. Horton home by taking advantage of its National Red Tag Sales event going on right now through January 25th. Stop by any of its participating communities and find select Red Tag homes at incredible pricing. So whether you're buying your first home or looking for an upgrade, you don't want to miss the Red Tag Sales event going on right now. Discover the D.R. Horton difference. Visit drhorton.com. D.R. Horton, America's builder and equal housing opportunity builder.
For over 50 years, Bucky's Complete Auto Repair has been the one locals trust for fast, friendly service with guaranteed repairs. With 16 family-owned locations and a Carfax preferred badge, Bucky's makes it easy with same-day service and available financing. Visit Bucky's.com.
From whiplash to herniated discs, there are a few car accident injuries we've all heard of. J.P. Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains that even the most common injuries differ from one another.
Pre-existing conditions, health history, beginning of treatment. There are hundreds of factors that make every person and every injury unique. While these variables aid medical treatment, the strongest case recoveries must also take them into account.
Could you explain a little bit more?
Our team at Pendergast Law is obsessed with turning over every stone to differentiate each case. This requires thorough investigation, diligent listening, and relentless research. We never pursue cases with a one-size-fits-all approach. We built our success by treating every injury and every case with the individualized attention our clients need and deserve.
Pendergast Law's individualized approach to even the most common injuries makes the difference in case outcomes. It's another reason why I can't recommend them enough.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
For more than 50 years, the voice Seattle trusts. This is Seattle's Morning News on KIRO News Radio.
6:47 now. Thanks for being here with us this Thursday morning. In this week's Tech Talk, cyber experts around the world are sounding alarm bells. A team of researchers at Anthropic says hackers recently used AI to help run a cyber attack, marking what may be the first known case of AI directing a hacking campaign in a largely automated way. Here's KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey.
It's like something out of a movie where sci-fi
meets espionage.
A multi-stage attack that moves faster than any humans could.
Kristen Flynn Goodwin, a cybersecurity expert who spent 2 decades at Microsoft and now heads advanced cyber law, is following a recent cyber operation linked to the Chinese government where hackers largely planned and guided their attacks using AI. Researchers at Anthropic say the hackers were able to manipulate their popular AI platform, Claude, using so-called jailbreaking techniques, tricking Claude into bypassing safety guardrails by posing as legitimate cybersecurity workers. That allowed the bad guys to conduct high-level automated attacks to infiltrate some 30 tech, finance, and chemical companies and federal agencies faster and on a scale not yet seen before. They got Claude largely to do all their dirty work for them while they sat back and watched it happen.
So that's really a game changer.
Flynn Goodwin tells me the attack is catching the attention of cybersecurity experts everywhere because
not only can nation states do it, so can advanced criminals, and then that will trickle down.
And what makes it really scary for all of us,
we don't have defenses for things like that today.
in today's world of AI, hackers have the upper hand. AI gives them unlimited speed and scale and allows them to take risks getting caught. Meanwhile, companies developing AI platforms are forced to move carefully, lawfully, and selectively.
AI and agentic AI is evolving so quickly that imagine we're building the roads at the same time that we're learning how to drive.
To solve that dilemma, governments and the private sector need more time to develop standards and controls, to install checks and balances on what bad guys can and can't do. However, those don't exist just yet, and making things worse.
When we used to get spam or phishing, there were spelling errors, there were mistakes, things that would trick our eyes and let us know this isn't right.
However, with AI,
those are all going to be gone. AI is going to get rid of that. So now the defenses we used to have, the human defenses, are gone.
Flynn Goodwin also says the reason we have not seen an attack like this on a mega company like AWS, Google, or Microsoft, she fears is because this was a test on a smaller company. And ironically, just like AI,
the actors are going to take this back, they're going to learn, they're going to get better, and we're going to see more of this.
I mean, this is really scary stuff, Charlie. We don't have defenses yet for an attack like this, but it's also a huge dilemma. I mean, nobody wants to tell a company developing any kind of innovative anything to, hey, slow down, let's figure this thing out. I mean, you know, in fact, the Trump administration has called for just the opposite. They want to eliminate all guardrails when it comes to developing AI. But if you do that, you're going to see hallucinations from AI making mistakes, and then you're going to see more cyber attacks as well.
So I am of the belief that 2026 is really going to be an important year for AI. I think the horse is out of the barn, whatever the cliche is. And now it's really going to come down to companies and their level of control, responsibility, understanding what their software does. And it's really, really a difficult issue because on one hand, you know that this is going to be a lot of upheaval in society. On the other hand, look at the good things AI could do. So we have so many local companies involved in AI as well that I don't know, Luke. I think this is going to be a bigger and bigger part of your job every week, like just staying on top of these developments.
It will, and there's some great things going on in the world that we're not aware of, and that's what we try to uncover a little bit in Tech Talk as well that are going on. AI helps with that, but you know, if you're relying on companies to do the right thing, basically, that they've got to buy into security as well. And you know what? Security is expensive.
It's expensive. You know what else is expensive? Electricity. And the sheer amount of electricity, the data, I don't even know what we call them, data farms, whatever they are for AI, these massive, massive operations, one of the biggest reasons that we are quickly running out of a power supply in this state and all across the world, it's because AI just consumes so much energy. That'll be fascinating to watch, too, because we don't seem to be able to get enough power plants online to feed our new robot overlords.
So many facets to this world of AI. Brand new world, and it's exciting times.
Yeah, for sure. You could never replace Sully with AI.
No, never, ever.
Sure you could.
No.
We've tried.
Yeah,
we just can't.
Matter of fact, a Kirkland company has already created an AI traffic reporter.
Yeah.
And thanks a lot for trying to take my job.
It's fine, Sully.
No one's getting rid of
Took my
Sully.
No one's taking your gerb. Sully is at the traffic desk. Where do we start?
Well, we're going to start on northbound 167 trying to get out of the Kent area. We've been working with a crash in the left general purpose lane. It's now over to the right general purpose lane there, right around 212. It's got about a 2-mile backup behind it and growing, and it's merging with the slowing we have out of Auburn. So we're over 30 minutes now from Auburn to Renton, and that puts us closer to an hour to go all the way from Puyallup. So probably about a 10 or 12 minute delay on the freeway there. And then you get up into the Renton S-curves, and they're starting to be active a little bit. 22 minutes to make it up into Bellevue. Northbound I-5, freeway speed from Olympia through Tacoma and through Fife up to Federal Way. That's where you hit the brake lights again. A nice long gap till you get up to about the middle of Boeing Field. 45 to 50 minutes from Federal Way to Seattle, depending on how you hit the volume in that general area. The lake bridges are still in fine shape, so that's good. They usually don't heat up for another hour or so. Looking at the southbound I-5 drive, a little bit in Marysville now, a little bit right around the 526 Boeing Freeway area, and then it's really away from Linwood. 48 minutes from Everett into Bellevue, 45 from Everett to Seattle. Overall is not that bad of a travel time. A little bit on 522 across the Snohomish River, but nothing that you can't handle. This report brought to you by the Emerald Queen Casino. Live professional boxing is back with the main event February 6th at the Emerald Queen Casino. The main event powered by WFC February 6th only at the Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest.
All right, kind of a partly sunny day, maybe some showers. Highs are going to be in the mid-40s today. It will be upper 40s, kind of dry and partly sunny tomorrow afternoon and Saturday. Rain makes a comeback on Sunday. Right now in Seattle, it's 37. We're keeping an eye on the situation in Minnesota. St. Paul right now, there is a standoff between protesters and federal law enforcement. We have seen in the past hour several people get handcuffs. We've seen tear gas deployed, so a tense situation in Minnesota. CBS is going to have the latest on that coming up at the top of the hour. And then we'll have KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey on everything Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy had to say when he was in town. This is Seattle's Morning News.
This is your city.
Seattle voters have spoken, and they wanted change.
Wilson really resonated, especially with some younger voters.
On the terms of working people, make it work for them.
Katie Wilson is just actually not afraid to say she's a socialist.
What challenges does the political newcomer face once taking office?
Never having any managerial experience.
Stay with KIRO News Radio and MyNorthwest.com for the latest.
Change takes time, and we don't give it time.
And the KIRO News Radio app. KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle.
Hey there, Dawn Riling with Olympic Hot Tub. Ready to kick off 2026 on a healthier path? Our New Year, New You event has everything you need, from saltwater hot tubs to rejuvenating saunas and cold plunges, or staying active with a swim spa. We've got the perfect way to help you feel your best. Enjoy special savings on our entire wellness lineup now through January 11th. OlympicHotTub.com. Better you, better life.
Olympic Hot Tub.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
ZipRecruiter. The new year brings new health goals and wealth goals. Protecting your identity is an important step. Your info is in endless places that could expose you to identity theft, leading to lost funds. LifeLock monitors millions of data points per second. If your identity is stolen, our restoration specialists will fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Resolve to make identity health and wealth part of your New Year's goals with LifeLock. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS. Visit LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
With the new IHOP value menu, $6 is all it takes to go to your happy place, where stacks of pancakes with bacon and eggs are just $6 every day. French toast, sausage, and eggs are, you guessed it, $6. And fluffy omelets come with a side of pancakes and only cost $6. Go to your happy plates every day at IHOP. $7 in some locations. Available every day for a limited time at participating restaurants in the U.S. Hours may vary. No substitutions. Not valid with other discounts or promotions. Prices may vary.
Choke Points with Chris Sullivan.
What burning questions do you have? You can help drive the conversation by going to mynorthwest.com or text Choke Points to 888-973-5476.
Tuesdays and Thursdays on Seattle's Morning News.
To protect her home and family in a disaster, Karen was willing to wade through water, mud, and insurance paperwork.
Yeah, I can do this.
You go, Karen! By simply understanding and updating what her insurance covers and doesn't cover now, she'll be better prepared no matter when disaster strikes. Learn other simple ways to protect your home and family before a natural disaster at ready.gov. That's ready.gov. A message from FEMA and the Ad Council.
Join Northwest Hope and Healing for Cork, Fork, and Support, an afternoon of wine tasting and inspiration, benefiting local breast and gynecologic cancer patients. Get your tickets now for January 31st. Go to nwhopeandhealing.org to learn more.
D.R. Horton's National Red Tag Sales Event is going on right now through January 25th. Stop by any of its participating communities and find select Red Tag homes at incredible pricing. Visit drhorton.com. D.R. Horton, America's builder and equal housing opportunity builder.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio, KIRO FM, and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle, Northwest News.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Pfizer.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. Demonstrators are back on the streets of Minneapolis a day after an ICE agent shot and killed a mother of 3 who tried to drive away from officers. Correspondent Michael Wallace.
Killers go home! Hundreds of protesters chanted "Killers go home" as they tried to block the exits of the Whipple Federal Building. Federal agents fired pepper balls and handcuffed several of the protesters. ICE out now! ICE out now! The protesters have been chanting shooting victim Renee Good's name, as well as "shame" and "don't you try to spin this, we were all a witness." State and local officials have demanded the federal agents leave, but Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem says they're not going anywhere.
Minneapolis Police Chief Brian O'Hara is urging angry Minnesotans to keep it peaceful. He tells CBS Mornings,
"We do not want to compound that by having a situation which can result in destruction or further harm to this community, which has been through so much over the last 5 years."
There are new calls for the Department of Justice internal watchdog to investigate the way the agency has been handling the Jeffrey Epstein files. CBS's Scott McFarland.
A group of Jeffrey Epstein survivors, some members of Congress of both parties, and some watchdog groups are all asking the Inspector General, the internal watchdog of the U.S. Department of Justice, to investigate whether the agency is violating the law with how it's releasing or not releasing all of the Jeffrey Epstein case files. Federal law required a full release by December 19th, but only about 1% have been released so far.
The Senate is expected to take a third vote this morning on another war powers resolution to limit President Trump's ability to strike Venezuela. Mr. Trump tells the New York Times U.S. oversight of the South American nation could last for years. He says only time will tell how long. A Florida family has agreed to settle a wrongful death lawsuit with an AI company and Google after their teenager died by suicide 2 years ago. CBS's Jim Krasula has details.
Megan Garcia filed a lawsuit saying her 14-year-old son died after carrying on a months-long virtual emotional and sexual relationship with a chatbot known as Danny. Terms of the settlement were not disclosed.
What happens when you stop taking popular weight loss drugs like Zepbound and Wegovy? A new study in the British Medical Journal finds people can regain lost pounds 4 times faster and return to their original weight in a year and a half. CBS News medical contributor Dr. Celine Gounder.
Many people who take these medications view it as a silver bullet and are not making those other changes. It should be seen as a way to jumpstart your weight loss while you're still making those other behavioral changes.
The Dow up 89. This is CBS News.
You still got it, but your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Sponsored by Pfizer.
7:03 now. Let's check in with Sully at the traffic desk.
And we are looking at an okay drive. One exception there is the fact that we're still working with this crash on the Valley Freeway. Northbound 167 approaching, really through Kent now up to 212 where the right lane remains blocked. We got about a 35-minute trip out of Auburn, which is at least a 10 or 12-minute delay over what you might expect at this hour, and an hour and 5 to go all the way. So plan on big-time delays there. Once you hit Renton to Bellevue is about 20 minutes, so not terrible. The Olympia to Tacoma drive is pretty good. Tacoma itself is quiet. Federal Way to Seattle's running right around 50 minutes. We've got 25 to South Center, 25 from. The Lake Bridges are still in very good shape. 405 is a little slower than I-5 pulling away from Linwood, 50 minutes from Everett to Bellevue, or 45 from Everett to Seattle. This report brought to you by the KIRO Newsradio App. Text app 973-888-973-5476. Download the KIRO News Radio app where you can listen to your favorite shows and get the latest news and updates right to your phone.
Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and MyNorthwest.com.
Live from East Lake Avenue,
Seattle's morning news.
Good morning. It's 7:04. I'm Charlie Harger. Manda Factor has the day off. Protesters in Seattle demanding justice for the mother shot and killed by ICE in Minneapolis. Investigators are still looking into what led up to her death, but it appears Renee Nicole Good was blocking a street in her neighborhood with her car when she was approached by ICE agents. She reversed her car before driving forward. An ICE agent near the front of her car shot her. It is 7:04. Washington's child care subsidy program is facing new scrutiny as fraud allegations in other states make national headlines. In Minnesota, members of the Somali community have been charged with stealing millions in child care funds. Now, Washington State Auditor Pat McCarthy looks to be close to finalizing an audit of a $770 million subsidy program here in our state. But former state auditor Brian Sontag says the state should go further. He's calling for a broader review of spending at the Department of Children, Youth, and Families. Como reports a 2024 audit found the agency lacked adequate controls. Though it didn't find fraud, DCYF says it has safeguards in place, including random audits and a fraud hotline. The agency reported about $2 million in overpayments last fiscal year. One person was criminally convicted. Sontag says similar questions being raised in multiple states, and the public deserves answers. Big news for two Washington companies. Alaska Airlines has placed the largest order in its history, agreeing to buy more than 100 jets from Boeing. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy was here in Seattle for the deal signing ceremony, and KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey is here in the studio with more.
Charlie, a huge deal for Alaska Airlines, their largest ever. A total of 110 planes from Boeing, 105 737 MAX 10 planes, and 5 787 wide bodies. There's also an option for 35 more MAX planes on the same timeline over the next 10 years. Well, Secretary Duffy joined Seattle Red 770 yesterday. He applauded the deal, but also talked about safety in the air and across our region. He spelled out a bunch of issues facing the FAA right now as far as technology that they use right now. Here's just one scary example.
If you think back to the 1980s, the little copper wires that would connect our phone lines are the very same wires that the FAA is using to keep planes safe in the sky.
Yikes. To put that in perspective, most companies around the world got rid of copper wires like decades ago. And here's a list of things the FAA will fix from here on out.
So we're moving from copper to fiber, analog to digital. which, by the way, is probably the most complicated part of what we're going to do in this phase. We just announced that we are buying brand new radar for the whole system.
But wait, there's more. Duffy says under the old FAA, which is pretty typical for a lot of government agencies, this overhaul might take some 15 years. And by then, whatever technology they put in place is obsolete again. So Duffy says not going to happen this time.
We are going to have a state-of-the-art air traffic control system, and we are not going to work at the speed of the old FAA.
Now, their goal is to get this all done, Charlie, by 2028. The FAA also needs a whole new software system, but Duffy says Congress did not allocate enough money for that just yet. They do need to do that as well at some point.
And Duffy in town for that absolutely huge deal for Boeing, one of the biggest purchases, or the biggest purchase in Alaska Airlines history.
Mega deal. And remember last year they had that door plug blowout from that flight from Portland. And what was interesting in yesterday's ceremony, both companies said they were working very closely together on safety standards. So this new fleet has got input from both sides on what they can do to better improve those safety systems and procedures and processes moving forward.
Okay. Well, thank you for that, Luke. It's 7:08.
Keeping you informed since 1974. This is the city's longest-running radio news show.
Seattle's Morning News on KIRO Newsradio.
Little Eagles to start off your morning. Don't call them the Eagles.
I'm with you.
Yeah, you got to be appropriate. It's just Eagles.
I'm with you. You know, you can listen to Seattle's Morning News, but you can never leave.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, that should be our new tagline for the show. Okay, I'm going to talk to marketing about that. Manda left, though.
I'm an idea.
Yeah, all right. You're just an idea guy. Manda Factor is off this morning. I'm Charlie Harger. It is Thursday, January 8th. That's Sully over there. Producer David Burbank is in the studio with us, and Nick Kracia in the control room on the ones and twos, choosing the tunes this morning. Jillian Raftery filling in for Katrina out at the news desk, and of course Luke Ducey, our Morningside reporter. Well, coming up on this hour of the show, we have law enforcement and protesters facing off in the Twin Cities this morning. This is after yesterday's deadly shooting of a woman in Minneapolis by ICE. We'll talk about that coming up later in the show. And in today's 7:35 commentary, one story this week involving teenagers impaired behind the wheel is giving me pause. I'll tell you why. 7:09 now here on Seattle's Morning News. An investigation into a Bothell woman's death that spanned multiple counties and months has come to an end. Here's KIRO 7 TV's Dee Dee Sun.
Police believe they found the man who killed Mallory Barber. The Mason County Sheriff's Office has arrested a 45-year-old Bremerton man. We have been following this case since June when she was reported missing from her home in Bothell. Her body was found in October on a logging road in Mason County. We're still waiting to learn about the suspect's identity. We're also trying to figure out exactly what his connection was to Barber.
Seattle police looking for suspects after a double stabbing downtown yesterday. Here's KIRO 7 KIRO News Radio's James Lynch.
The stabbings happened around 6:30 at Freeway Park in downtown Seattle near I-5. When officers arrived, they found two men, 35 and 38 years old, with stab wounds. Here's SPD Detective Brian Pritchard.
Witnesses at the scene told officers that it was about three males that were wearing black clothing that robbed the victim shortly before the assault.
An SPD K-9 was brought in, but so far no suspects have been located. James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
Seattle's crusade against gas leaf blowers appears to have stalled out. Here's Jillian Raftery with the story.
Former Mayor Bruce Harrell once called them a noisy, polluting nuisance. And Seattle passed a measure directing city departments to phase them out by 2025 with a goal of public elimination by 2027. But city agencies are apparently still working on plans to replace gas-powered leaf blowers. They say electric models just aren't strong enough to handle wet weather. Meantime, the city posted a pamphlet outlining best practices for leaf blowers to try to get businesses and individuals to consider making the switch. Jillian Raftery for KIRO News Radio.
Well, drama off the football field as Washington Husky quarterback DeMond Williams says he's entering the transfer portal. That's despite signing a contract last week to play for UW. Fox Sports college football analyst Joel Klatt spoke to 710 Seattle Sports.
If we're not going to get federal legislation to help with guardrails and everything that we're dealing with in college football, then we need a collectively bargained agreement so that we can prevent things like this. When's the last time you ever heard of anything like this? Like this?
Yahoo Sports reports UW believes another school is tampering and offered Williams more money. The university plans to take legal action. At 7:12, it's time to get a check on weather. It's brought to us by State Roofing and Exteriors. Nick Allard, it was chilly this morning. How's it looking in the passes, first of all, for people trying to get over Snoqualmie and Stevens with all that snow we've had?
Yeah, it's pretty light at the moment, but you're still going to see a lot of snow today. Another 4 to 10 inches of snow. You've had over a foot for Snoqualmie, over 2 feet plus for Stevens. So great news for the fact that it's opening up as well. So great snow, but it will still snow throughout the day. So like I said, another 4 to 10 inches today. Could be heavy at times, especially Stevens, because you're going to see a Puget Sound convergence zone kick in, which is a band of heavier showers that today looks like it would hang around, say, North Snohomish, Central Skagit County-ish. And those spots may also see not only some rain, but possibly some snow or some wet snow. We had some pockets of that yesterday in heavier showers, and that's the same thing we could see today. In fact, really anywhere where showers are heavier, that's the potential is there for some snow or some wet snow. It's not a very good shot besides the spots that I mentioned to the north, unless you have elevation above 800 to 1,000 feet. So we have more mountain snow. We have some spotty, mainly rain showers, but into the afternoon we'll be drying out further, and there just is not going to be a lot today. And I think highs will stay cool in the low 40s. Tomorrow's going to be a much calmer day. Just some areas of rain in the morning to the north and then dry. In fact, we're probably dry in the 40s and even 50s tomorrow and Saturday until Saturday evening. And then we get rain on Sunday. And then that's, by the way, going to mean rain for the passes and snow levels upwards of maybe 5,000 feet. That's okay. I don't think it's all going to melt. Sometimes when the snowpack is fresh, too, and young especially, you like to get a little bit of rain on top of it. And then as the cold weather comes back, you solidify that lower layer and put more snow on it. So it isn't the worst news to have rain, but, you know, we want to keep the snow going so people can go enjoy it.
When are we hearing about La Nina, Nick? Is that still in full force, or are we transitioning out of it?
You know, I think that for the most part, we're still a go. We might be seeing some signs that go kind of on the lighter side, but I think right now we're still looking at it. And I've seen it plenty of times when we hold this pattern, and then it's just that you get a calm start or dry spells, and then at the end of winter, you get hammered. And so I don't think we're done. I mean, I know it's been a weird start so far. We have the atmospheric river, but I think we're still going to do okay.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Nick. It's 37 in Seattle right now. Let's head over to the traffic desk where we find Chris Sullivan.
And we have a pretty significant backup on northbound 167 at this point, getting through the Kent area because of this crash that's blocking the right lane as you get up towards 212th. We've got about a 20-minute delay now on the Valley Freeway. It's going to take you 45 minutes out of Auburn and an hour and 15 all the way from the Puyallup area. So we're looking at pretty sizable backups there. Once you get through that, it's only 22 to 25 minutes to go from Renton to Bellevue. If you wanted to jump over to I-5, it can actually handle the capacity. It's not too bad there. We're running under an hour from Federal Way to Seattle, though the last couple of miles are really starting to thicken up. Southbound I-5, if you're trying to get through JBLM, we have a crash approaching Thorn Lane. Looks like it's on the right-hand shoulder now. Had been blocking a couple of lanes, but we're running 40 minutes from Tacoma to Olympia. The drive out of the north end, definitely a lot heavier through Canyon Park, so we're looking at 55 minutes now, Everett to Bellevue, and about 50 from Everett to Seattle. KIRO Newsradio real-time traffic, I'm Chris Sullivan.
Hear it live, stream it online, watch the show, or catch the podcast anytime.
Seattle's Morning News, wherever you are.
Good to have you here this morning at 7:16. All eyes on Minnesota today, where Renee Nicole Good was in her SUV. That's when federal immigration officers in Minneapolis surrounded it. At one point, they attempted to open her door. She was shot and killed when she tried to drive forward. CBS News Minnesota reporter Jonah Kaplan watched video of the shooting with a retired ICE agent to discuss the tactics used.
First thing, just out of the gate, man, like, I don't hear anybody identifying themselves. I don't hear anybody like, hey, police.
We went through video of Wednesday's deadly shooting frame by frame with retired ICE agent Eric Ballier.
You see 3 officers, 2 to the side and then 1 directly in front of the vehicle. Is that the right place they should be?
I don't understand the tactical or law enforcement advantage of having someone on foot in front of a moving, running, or occupied vehicle. You're almost inducing a shooting if that person decides to flee.
When the car accelerates, the officer in front of the car appears to fire 3 shots. killing the driver, 37-year-old Renee Good, and sending her vehicle careening into a parked car.
What's the training when it comes to someone fleeing in a vehicle?
If someone is fleeing, that is not a justification for the use of deadly force. The threshold becomes, is your life in imminent danger?
Ballier also focused in on the direction of the car's wheels, which he says indicate Good may have been trying to turn away from the officers.
She's trying to get around that vehicle, is what it appears to me. She has the steering wheel turned to the right, and she's trying to get away.
That is CBS News reporting. Nationwide protests in Iran are continuing. Here's CBS's Tony DeCouple.
More than 300 locations where people have been protesting soaring prices in that country. At least 38 people have been killed in all this, more than 2,200 arrested. In an attempt to calm the anger there in the public, Iran's government is now sending out payments of $7 a month to help people afford food and other essentials.
President Trump tells the New York Times the U.S. could stay in control of Venezuela for years. Yesterday, U.S. forces seized 2 more oil tankers under international sanctions for ties to Venezuela. Here's CBS's Charlie D'Agata.
U.S. forces had tailed the Marinera, formerly named the Bella 1, for weeks, allegedly part of the so-called shadow fleet that carries sanctioned Venezuelan oil around the globe. It had recently re-registered as a Russian vessel, and the Kremlin this week dispatched a submarine to escort it. But U.S. forces arrived first. Russia called the seizure illegal under international law. The White House disagreed.
The vessel was deemed stateless after flying a false flag, and it had a judicial seizure order, and that's why the crew will be subject to prosecution.
Administration officials Wednesday laid out how the ongoing quarantine on oil out of Venezuela is playing into the larger plan for the U.S. to take over the country's massive oil reserves.
We are going to take between 30 and 50 million barrels of oil. We're going to sell it in the marketplace. That money will then be handled in such a way that we will control how it is dispersed in a way that benefits the Venezuelan people, not corruption, not the regime.
That oil alone, worth between $2 and $3 billion, would be taken by tankers and brought to port in the United States.
Now, in new CBS News polling, the U.S. military action removing Maduro from power divides Americans, and their views on it connect to what they think the U.S. goals are and what they believe comes next. Jenna DePinto is CBS News Deputy Director of Elections and Surveys.
The U.S. military action that removed Nicolas Maduro from power divides Americans, and their views on it connect to what they think the U.S. goals are and what they believe comes next. 48% approve of U.S. actions, while 52% disapprove. And when Americans believe trying to get access to Venezuela's oil and expand U.S. power are big parts of the administration's goals, they tend to disapprove. When Americans think it's a lot about stopping drugs, gangs, and terrorists, they are more approving of the U.S. action in Venezuela.
And this was so strange to see. Gamblers are betting on which target President Trump will strike next after Venezuela.
Someone made more than $400,000 after placing a wager on Polymarket that Nicolas Maduro would be ousted as Venezuela's leader. Dennis Kelleher is the CEO of the government watchdog Better Markets.
This particular trade really has all the hallmarks of an insider trade.
Now, gamblers are betting whether the U.S. will strike Colombia this year and whether Iran's supreme leader will be out by June 30th. Critics call betting on potential wars and national security ghoulish and tasteless. Michael Wallace, CBS News.
There's been a twist in the case against the son of director Rob Reiner, who is accused of murdering both of his parents. Nick Reiner was supposed to enter a plea in court yesterday, but that didn't happen. His high-profile lawyer told the judge he is withdrawing from the case. Here's CBS's Jonathan Vigliotti in Los Angeles.
Reiner spoke only once when he agreed to another postponement.
Did you waive your right to be arraigned?
The judge assigned a public defender, Kimberly Green, to represent Reiner, funded by taxpayers.
We're just speculating as to why Alan Jackson withdrew from this case.
CBS News legal analyst Jessica Levinson.
I will say 9 times out of 10 in cases like this, when you see a private attorney withdraw, it's because there's some sort of issue with payment.
Reiner was arrested on December 14th, the same day his parents were found stabbed to death inside their Los Angeles home. In a statement, the Reiner family says they have the utmost trust in the legal process. LA District Attorney Nathan Hochman says the lawyer change won't impact the case.
We are fully confident that a jury will convict Nick Reiner beyond a reasonable doubt of the brutal murders of his parents.
NASA has scrubbed today's scheduled spacewalk outside the International Space Station because a crew member has a medical issue.
Citing privacy concerns, NASA has not identified the astronaut or what the health issue is, but says the crew member is stable. The space agency says it may have to cut Crew 11's mission short. Commander Mike Fink, flight engineer Zena Cardman, Japanese astronaut Kamiya Yui, and Russian cosmonaut Oleg Platonov have been on the space station since August. Last month, they hugged each other as Fink shared a Christmas message.
The happiest of Christmas, Merry Christmas, and a happy, happy New Year.
The crew is due to return to Earth in late February. Michael Wallace, CBS News.
How many sci-fi movies start with this exact plot? I hope everybody's okay. Yeah, for sure. It is 7:23, making it time for traffic on the threes with Chris Sullivan.
Just like every time somebody pulls something out of the permafrost or out of the ice, like, what could go wrong? I immediately see the thing.
The thing.
The original. Like, what are we doing here? Okay, well, we've got a 5-mile backup on northbound 167 coming out of the Auburn area all the way up through Kent, and we've got about a 25-minute delay because the right lane remains blocked right around 212th for this crash, and there's a lot going on around it. So, as I said, 5-mile backup and a 50-minute trip from Auburn to Renton. That is double the normal travel time, and in about an hour and 15 all the way from the Puyallup area. If you wanted to bail, go up 18 and head to I-5. You're going to be in pretty good shape because the I-5 corridor through that spot is not bad. Federal Way up through South Center is only about 23 minutes, and then it's about 35 out of South Center, so that equals out to about an hour total. But if you're on I-5, you're going to like that a lot better than sitting on 167. Renton to Bellevue, the S-curves have definitely filled in. Got about a 30-minute trip now to get you up into Bellevue. Coming down from the north end or looking at we've got some pretty heavy braking westbound on Highway 2, getting across the trestle, backing us up to not quite Bickford, and then 204 is heavy as well. Once you get over to I-5, it's a pretty good drive till you get down south of Linwood. Got about a 50-minute trip from Everett to Seattle, about 55 from Everett to Bellevue. Lake bridges, though, are in good shape. This report brought to you by Seattle Sports. Download the Seattle Sports app and stay in the know with the latest news, scores, and opinions about your favorite teams.
If you're headed to Portland, we have showers falling from Centralia all the way south of Longview right now. Those will kind of go away. We will have scattered showers throughout the day. About 4 to 8 more inches of snow up in the mountains, though, especially as you cross Snoqualmie Pass. Right now in Seattle, we have cloudy skies. It's dropped down to 35. And coming up, we'll have an update on the day's top stories, including the latest in Minneapolis. And then we'll also speak with Luke Ducey about the visit of Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy and the big deal between Boeing and Alaska Airlines.
After voters made it clear they want change.
That I will faithfully conduct myself as the mayor of the city of Seattle.
What should Seattle residents expect from Mayor Katie Wilson?
She talked a lot about our affordability crisis.
Northwest News voices you depend on.
It's a misdiagnosis of the problem. You believe government can solve this problem.
KIRO News Radio on 97.3 FM. The KIRO News Radio app with opinion and analysis at mynorthwest.com.
All right, here's a quick confession. The reason Nick, my wife, is going to Longevity Medical Clinic is because why?
I got sick of watching you sleep at night when I was awake.
Wait a minute. Wait. Here's what would happen. I'd be asleep because I've got my hormones balanced thanks to Longevity Medical Clinic. I'm asleep, and then Nick would go, "Are you asleep? Are you sleeping? That's not fair. I can't sleep." I'm like, "So you're going to wake me up?"
Yes, because I didn't want you to have more energy than I would the next day, and I was up all night.
So what did I say to you? I said, so go to the Longevity Medical Clinic. Do the same thing I did. Get your hormones balanced. You'll sleep sleep better, right?
And I did.
Right. You don't have to wake me up anymore and go, it's not fair that you're sleeping.
I know.
But didn't you see that it wasn't fair that you were waking me up?
Yes, because now you're the one taking the dogs out because I'm still asleep in the morning.
So we're both getting good night's sleep. We're both getting lots of energy, and we're happy.
You want me to tell you why? Because my hormones are now balanced.
Okay, I don't want to hear about your hormones right now. So be like Nick and get a free health analysis at lmclinic.com. That's lmclinic.com.
The new year brings new health goals and wealth goals. Protecting your identity is an important step. Your info is in endless places that could expose you to identity theft, leading to lost funds. LifeLock monitors millions of data points per second. If your identity is stolen, our restoration specialists will fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Resolve to make identity health and wealth part of your New Year's goals with LifeLock. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS. Visit LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
With the new IHOP value menu, $6 is all it takes to go to your happy place, where stacks of pancakes with bacon and eggs are just $6 every day. French toast, sausage, and eggs are, you guessed it, $6. And fluffy omelets come with a side of pancakes and only cost $6. Go to your happy plates every day at IHOP. $7 in some locations. Available every day for a limited time at participating restaurants in the U.S. Hours may vary. No substitutions. Not valid with other discounts or promotions. Prices may vary.
Sniffles and sneezes got you down? GoodRx is here to help with big savings on commonly prescribed cold and flu meds. GoodRx is free and easy to use. GoodRx is accepted at all major pharmacies like CVS, Walmart, and Walgreens. Just search your prescription, find a coupon, then show your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx is not insurance, but it works whether you have insurance or not. If you do, GoodRx may beat your copay price. Download the free app or visit GoodRx.com to save today.
You're still grooving, still connecting, still loving, still turning up, still thriving. You still got it, but your immune system, it weakens as you age. That's where vaccines come in. They help train and strengthen your immune response to fight off respiratory illnesses like flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, or COVID-19. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Book in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
An illegal alien from Guatemala charged with raping a child in Massachusetts. An MS-13 gang member from El Salvador accused of murdering a Texas man. A Venezuelan charged with filming and selling child pornography in Michigan. These are just some of the heinous migrant criminals caught because of President Donald J. Trump's leadership. I'm Kristi Noem, the United States Secretary of Homeland Security. Under President Trump, attempted illegal border crossings are at the lowest levels ever recorded, and over 100,000 illegal aliens have been arrested. If you are here illegally, you're next. You will be fined nearly $1,000 a day, imprisoned, and deported. You will never return. But if you register using our CBP Home app and leave now, you could be allowed to return legally. Do what's right. Leave now. Under President Trump, America's laws, border, and families will be protected.
Sponsored by the United States Department of Homeland Security.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment? That's a lie. Most timeshares can be bought online for $1. To find out what your timeshare is worth and to cancel it, call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit kit free with all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley for your free exit info guide. 800-959-3388. That's 800-959-3388.
You know the rush when you reach that goal, when something you've worked for pays off. That's success. At University of Maryland Global Campus, we believe you should never stop chasing it. That's why we offer a skills-based education that helps move your career forward. Learn how to apply emerging technologies like AI and data science. Build your leadership and critical thinking skills. Apply by February 11th and save with no application fee. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it today at carsforkids.org. Your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call 1-877-CARS4KIDS to donate your car today. That's cars with a K.
Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and MyNorthwest.com.
Live from East Lake Avenue,
Seattle's morning news.
It's 7:31. Thanks for joining us today. Manda Factor has the morning off. I'm Charlie Harger. Minneapolis Police Chief Brian O'Hara says everyone should agree yesterday's shooting of a woman by an ICE officer was a tragedy, regardless of their politics. He called for a thorough investigation and urged everyone to remain peaceful.
We do not want to compound that by having a situation which can result in destruction or further harm to this community, which has been through so much over the last 5 years.
Secretary of Homeland Security Kristi Noem is standing by her agents' actions. We are watching developments in St. Paul this morning where protests have resulted in tear gas being deployed, people being detained. We will continue to follow that throughout the morning. It's a major moment for Washington's aerospace industry. Alaska Airlines has placed the largest order in its history, agreeing to buy more than 100 planes from Boeing in a deal that strengthens both companies and supports thousands of local jobs. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy was in Seattle yesterday for the signing ceremony. Here's KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey live to break it all down.
Yeah, you know, it's a big one, Charlie, when the Transportation Secretary shows up for the signing. A total of 110 planes from Boeing, including 105 737 MAX 10 planes and 5 787 wide bodies. Also, there's an option for 35 more MAX planes on the same timeline over the next 10 years. Secretary Duffy told Jason Rantz on Seattle Red 770, this deal means American manufacturing is back. And he gave a lot of that credit to Boeing CEO Kelly Ortberg.
Boeing has done a great job in moving the needle over the last couple of years under Kelly's leadership. And you're seeing that with the historic number of sales they had last year alone. They sold more airplanes last year than any other year.
During the deal signing ceremony in Seattle yesterday, Ortberg said that they'd been working closely with Alaska Airlines to develop better safety policies and processes. This is Alaska's first major Boeing order since that door plug panel blew out on that 737 MAX 9 operated by the airline. No one died in that incident, but there were several people injured. The pilot of that flight out of Portland is now suing Boeing for $10 million, claiming Boeing tried to blame him and his co-pilot for the door plug failure.
If you don't have safety, Jason, whether you're a manufacturer or you're an airline, you have nothing. You don't have a business. And it's our job as the regulator to make sure they're producing safe aircraft, that we're certifying safe aircraft, and the airlines are, running a safe airline.
And Charlie, as far as certification and being the regulator, the FAA and Sean Duffy, the MAX 10 is not yet certified by the FAA. It's also behind schedule, but Alaska says they are confident deliveries will begin by 2027.
Okay, Luke, thank you for that update. Time to check traffic now every 10 minutes on the threes with Chris Sullivan.
Do not get on northbound 167 out of the Auburn area. You will regret it if you do. We've got two crashes now. We have the original one northbound right at 212th and Kent that's blocking the right lane, and now we have a crash at 516 there at Willis there in the Kent area itself. And so we're backed up all the way almost to Highway 18. It's an hour just from Auburn to Renton. That is a 35-minute delay and an hour and a half all the way from the Puyallup area. And also even getting to the Valley Freeway at this point is difficult. We've got a crash down the South Hill that's been blocking the right lane as you approach Meridian on eastbound 512. So that's pretty ugly. If you wanted to jump over or stay on I-5, it can actually handle it because we're running at about an hour from Federal Way to Seattle. Renton to Bellevue, about a half an hour. Southbound on 5-5, we're continuing to struggle getting through JBLM. Thorn Lane, right lane is blocked. 45 minutes from Tacoma down to Olympia. Going the other direction is actually in good shape. Across the lake, we're doing really well. Coming down from the north end, got about a 50 to 55 minute trip as we make our way down from Everett to Seattle or Everett to Bellevue. This report brought to you by the KIRO Newsradio App. Text app to 888-973-5476. Download the KIRO Newsradio App. Listen to your favorite shows. Get the latest news and updates straight to your phone. As for our weather forecast today, kind of a mixed bag. We could see some sun. Well, we probably should see some sun. We might see a few showers later in the day. Temperatures topping out right around 44, 45 degrees. So, a little better, but still cold. Outside our studios right now, it's, 37 degrees here at KIRO News Radio.
Seattle's morning news on KIRO News Radio.
And it's time for the 735 commentary. We had a story Tuesday morning that made me think, you know what? I better follow up on this one. And you might remember it. State troopers say a group of teenagers led them on a high-speed chase around 3:30 in the morning near Marysville. A trooper tried to stop a driver going 88 in a 60 zone, showing signs of DUI. Well, the car sped off at more than 100 miles per hour. Driver lost control. 4 teenagers ran. I read that and I thought there has to be more to this story. So I reached out to the State Patrol. Trooper Kelsey Harding, she got back to me quickly, professional, helpful, and she told me stuff that made me only raise more questions. So I started by asking the ages of these teenagers. Well, it was 3 15-year-olds and 1 16-year-old. I asked if the driver was licensed. No. I asked if any of them were booked into custody. Only one was, but not for this, for an existing warrant. So I followed up. Was the one booked on the warrant the driver? The one booked was not the driver. The driver was one of the 15-year-olds. Let me just make sure you caught that. A 15-year-old, unlicensed, possibly impaired, led state troopers on a chase at over 100 miles per hour in the middle of the night, lost control of the car, ran from police, and was released to a family member. A car going 100 on the freeway can kill people, other drivers, passengers, pedestrians, if this chase had gone differently. This was not a prank. This was dangerous. And the consequences? A referral to the prosecutor. We'll see if anything comes of it. I'm a dad. I have a teenage boy with a wild streak. I get it. And I was a teenage boy once. I made bad decisions. But I knew not to get in a car with a 15-year-old driver. I knew not to be out at 3:30 on a school night. And I knew if a cop was anywhere nearby, you act right. You don't run. Where'd that go? And here's the thing. I'm not sure it's only the boys I'm frustrated with. Where were the parents? 4 kids, middle of the night, a school night. One's in a car he can't legally drive. Another apparently has an outstanding warrant already. How does this happen? How do 4 teenagers get out of 4 houses at 3 a.m. without anyone noticing? Now, look, I know you can't watch your kid every second. I know teenagers sneak out. I know they make choices you can't control. But at some point, we have to ask whether parents are instilling the basics, respect for the law, fear of consequences, understanding that actions have weight. Some would say the system failed here, that these kids needed to be booked, held, made to feel the weight of what they did. Others would say they're just kids. They need intervention and support, not jail. And I honestly don't have a clean answer. I'm not here to condemn anyone's parenting. It's hard. Kids make choices you can't control. But a 15-year-old was out at 3 a.m. behind a wheel he had no business touching, making decisions that could have killed someone. And then he went home. I hope there's a real conversation happening in that house, not yelling, a conversation, because this is the moment. This is when it either turns around or it doesn't. And that part isn't up to the system. That's on the people who love him. And that's a commentary for January 8th, 2026. You can always text the show, 888-973-5476, or leave a comment at mynorthwest.com. Sully, what's coming up in traffic?
Well, we got a 30-minute delay on the Valley Freeway coming up out of Auburn. 2 crashes to tell you about. We'll talk about it next.
Seattle voters wanted change.
I campaigned on affordability, on homelessness, on taxing the rich.
Can Mayor Wilson live up to the promises of candidate Wilson?
The self-proclaimed progressive socialist managing high expectations.
Trusted Northwest News voices you depend on.
More government programs, which means more tax dollars.
KIRO News Radio on 97.3 FM. And the KIRO Newsradio App.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment? That's a lie. Most timeshares can be bought online for $1. To find out what your timeshare is worth and to cancel it, call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit kit free with all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley for your free exit info guide. 800-771-1300. That's 800-771-1300.
With the new IHOP value menu, $6 is all it takes to go to your happy plates, where stacks of pancakes with bacon and eggs are just $6 every day. French toast, sausage, and eggs are, you guessed it, $6. And fluffy omelets come with a side of pancakes and only cost $6. Go to your happy plates every day at IHOP. $7 in some locations. Available every day for a limited time at participating restaurants in the U.S. Hours may vary. No substitutions. Not valid with other discounts or promotions. Prices may vary.
Are your investment dollars working as hard as they should be? You've spent years building your future. Don't let outdated advice put it at risk. Hi, I'm Jeff Jr., founder of Trajan Wealth. We're a veteran-owned firm proud to bring a new standard of financial care to the Seattle area. Our nationally recognized advisors are fiduciaries, ethically bound to put your interests first. That's the highest standard of care in the industry. As a privately held company, we answer to you, our valued clients, not shareholders. For households with $500,000 or more, let us build you a customized plan. From Bellevue to Tacoma, get advice you can count on. It's time to take a fresh look at your financial plan. Call Trajan Wealth, 206-656-3300. That's 206-656-3300. Trajan Wealth. Plan smarter, dream bigger.
Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
At Uline, they know firsthand the road to success is an uphill climb. Uline started in the family basement, and through hard work is now North America's most trusted shipping and industrial supplier. They get what it means to have the support of reliable, hard-working partners. So they keep 41,000 items ready to ship. Whether your company is still in a basement office or expanding cross-country, Uline will be there on your road to success. Visit uline.com.
I'm Chris Davis, former King County prosecutor and founder of the Davis Law Group in Seattle. If you've been injured in a crash caused by impaired or drunk drivers, there are special considerations that need to be taken to protect your legal rights. Davis Law Group's team of investigators and lawyers know how to properly investigate DUI crashes and identify all parties who might be legally responsible for your injuries and damages. Call Davis Law Group at 206-888-8888 or get my free book at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
7:43, time to check traffic with Chris Sullivan.
Do not get on northbound 167 out of the Auburn area. We've got two crashes that are causing major problems, both right around the Kent area. The first one started all the mess, was right around 212th. We're still dealing with this. Multiple cars, including a semi, blocking the right lane. Further south of that, right at the main 516 interchange there at Willis, we've got the express toll lane blocked. And so we have about a 6-mile backup and a 30-minute delay up the Valley Freeway. It's an hour just from Auburn. That puts us at about an hour and a half to go all the way from Puyallup. So that is not a very good day. If you're on 167 and you want to bail at 18, head up the hill to I-5. You still have an opportunity to do that before things get really bad on I-5, because it's right now only about 30 minutes to get you into South Center coming up from Federal Way, then 35 from South Center into downtown. So an hour and 5 total. For those of you trying to get to the Valley Freeway through the Puyallup area, we're still working with a crash on the right-hand side going down the South Hill on eastbound 512. The drive southbound I-5 getting through JBLM. Right lane remains blocked at Thorn Lane, and we've got a backup there, 45 minutes from Tacoma to Olympia. Coming down from the north end, we've got about an hour drive from Everett to Seattle or Everett to Bellevue. It's right about where we should be. Brake lights begin right there in Linwood, so no real shockers for you guys. Rented to Bellevue's running right around a half an hour, maybe a little bit more. The Lake Bridges are fine. KIRO News Radio Real-Time Traffic, I'm Chris Sullivan.
Scattered showers today and also sunbreaks by the afternoon. 4 to 8 more inches of snow in the mountain passes. High of 44 in Seattle. Tomorrow, high of 49 with occasional showers and some sunbreaks. Right now, we have 35 at 7:45. And coming up on Seattle's Morning News, Sully, you have a choke point?
Yes, I do. We're going to take a look at the changing dynamic for those of you using I-5 at the Steilacoom DuPont Road.
This winter, drive with confidence in a Subaru from Subaru of Puyallup. From rainy commutes to icy roads, Subaru's legendary all-wheel drive and advanced safety are built for our winters. Subaru of Puyallup is known for something even better, a stress-free car buying experience. No pressure, no games. Just friendly Subaru experts helping you find the right vehicle at the right price. Start shopping now and see our stress-free pricing exclusively at SubaruofPuyallup.com. Subaru of Puyallup, your stress-free dealership, part of the Harnish Auto family.
Start having fun.
Caesar Sportsbook at Muckleshoot Casino Resort is your #1 place to eat, drink, watch, and have fun. Keep up with your favorite sports anywhere and everywhere on property with the mobile app. Visit muckleshootcasino.com today. Scan the QR code and let the play begin.
Muckleshoot. Guys, if your energy is low, your strength isn't what it used to be, or your drive feels off, it's not just getting older. For many men, it's low testosterone. At Revive Men's Health Washington, you can start with a free T-check, exam, and consultation, so you get real answers about your testosterone levels and overall health. And this month only, qualified patients may receive 25% off testosterone replacement therapy. This isn't guesswork or one-size-fits-all treatment. Revive specializes in personalized, closely monitored testosterone care designed to help men feel stronger, sharper, and more like themselves again. With over 120,000 patients treated since 2011, Revive Men's Health is trusted for results, not hype. If you've been putting this off, now is the time to act. Claim your free T-check and consultation and see if you qualify for 25% off TRT. This month only. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com. Terms apply, must medically qualify.
Hey, it's Jason Rance. Our local tax expert Greg Nunn wants taxpayers to know the IRS is now going after older cases very aggressively. If you received Form CP-504 from the IRS, do not ignore it. Be proactive and resolve your situation with Greg Nunn, N-U-N-N, None Better Tax Resolution.
No heat, electrical issues, frozen pipes, no power? John Curley here, recommending you call Home Comfort Alliance. For over 40 years, doing heating, cooling, plumbing, and electrical right, including standby generators. Call the comfort people at homecomfortalliance.com.
Hey there, Dawn Riling with Olympic Hot Tub. Ready to kick off 2026 on a healthier path? Our New Year, New You event has everything you need, from saltwater hot tubs to rejuvenating saunas and cold plunges, or staying active with a swim spa. We've got the perfect way to help you feel your best. Enjoy special savings on our entire wellness lineup now through January 11th. OlympicHotTub.com. Better you, better life.
Olympic Hot Tub.
Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Hey, oh, let's go.
Now, Choke Points with Chris Sullivan.
Presented by Carter Subaru.
Well, here we are a week into the new year, and it's going to be a good year for your I-5 drivers through DuPont. The new interchange at the Stillicum DuPont Road will open this year, providing better access to the city and all its wonders, and JBLM. Chris is here with details.
And getting rid of a conflict with speeding trains through that area, which I'll get into. But yeah, drivers should get their first crack at part of the new interchange later this month. The Washington Department of Transportation is expecting the new I-5 southbound access to this new interchange and overpass by the middle of January.
This is a partial turn on. One of the benefits of this is it helps us accelerate the construction schedule, get the work done. We're on time. We're on schedule with this.
WashDOT's Doug Adamson says a new roundabout just north of the freeway will also open at the same time. Now, this is a new exit for southbound drivers. It starts a little bit further to the north, so there might be a little bit of getting used to there because you're going to have to get off a little bit sooner than you're used to. So drivers heading to DuPont will take a right to that new roundabout. Drivers headed to JBLM will take a left from the new exit. Now, northbound drivers will continue to use the old exit and overpass, as will drivers from JBLM looking to access DuPont or southbound I-5.
Later on in spring, we'll fully open the new overpass, and we'll have the demolition of the existing overpass, which is low. It doesn't meet our standards. It's been hit before by two tall trucks.
It's also built in 1957, so it could use a significant upgrade. The removal of that old overpass will take a couple of overnight closures of I-5. Those dates haven't been released yet, but we'll be watching that closely. The new overpass will also drop off drivers on the other side of the railroad tracks, eliminating backups that happen quite frequently and increasing safety.
This new overpass will actually go over the railroad tracks where the trains are going at 79 miles an hour.
Another part of this project is opening up new HOV lanes and extending them from where they end, south of the Gravelly Lake Drive area through Mounts Road, which are part of this project. Those are going to open sometime over the summer. This, of course, is the final piece of construction that has added those new overpasses and HOV lanes throughout JBLM over the last couple of years. This has made the drive through the area better, but it's also created its own problems.
We understand fully that we are moving the bottleneck. Let's have a reality check here. It will, though, however, have a significant improvement for people serving our country at Joint Base Lewis McChord.
I think anybody who's driven that road on a Friday, especially, maybe during the summer in the afternoon as everyone's kind of heading down maybe to Portland or then off to the coast, is that, basically throughout construction, as they've opened the HOV lane a little bit, it's just moved the backup where we lose the lane to the south. Okay, it's going to happen. And right now that will probably happen right around Mounts Road, because southbound I-5 is going to stay at 3 lanes from there through Lacey after this work is finished. So now that's maybe not going to disappear ever. It's hard to say, but there is a plan to try to move it a little bit further to the south, or maybe make it go away, because they're planning to widen I-5 in both directions through Nisqually. Problem is that requires new bridges over the Nisqually River, a bunch of environmental work. They're just getting to work on some of that initial planning and thoughts of that right now. They don't have funding for this. That project is years and years away, but this should mark the opening of this new interchange and the demo of the old one later this year, kind of mark the end of what they've been doing south of Tacoma through JBLM down to Mounts Road, which again should be celebrated.
Well, that sounds good. And if you ever have a request for Sully for a choke point, you can always text the show at 888-973-5476.
Oh yeah, you can call the news desk. You can email me. You can hit us up on the text line, as you said, on any of our social platforms. You can go to mynorthwest.com, look at any of our choke points. There's a link right there to ask me a question, and it doesn't have to be anything super exciting. I mean, it doesn't have to be, why is Sound Transit doing this? Or what is the legislative transportation budget? It can be, why is this stop sign like this in my neighborhood? Because chances are, if it's happening in your neighborhood, it might be happening in other places, and I can make it, relevant for other folks. So, please, I'm here to answer your questions, because I can get to the people that have the answers and get back to you.
It's always great hearing Doug on the radio. When I was a DJ known as Tommy Parker on a station called Live 95 in Centralia, I did the overnights. Doug was at our arch rival station, KELA, and he was a morning news guy.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, it was really Sharks and Jets back in the day. But I always loved listening to Doug then on my drive back from Centralia to Kent in the morning. So Doug always did a good job, and it's great hearing his work with the state DOT.
And, of course, Doug is a person we've featured, he and his wife, quite frequently with their work with Treehouse.
Yes, absolutely.
As well as we just kind of wrap things up with Holiday Magic. So, good dude. And, it's nice to have him work for the DOT. He always gets me what I need, so keep those questions coming.
What do you think about, April Fool's Day? I just do a show. Ask Tommy Parker. 97.3 KIRO.
I want a job on April 2nd.
The most news station.
I want a job on April 2nd, please.
Okay, I'm thinking out loud.
Okay.
Here. Okay. Big problems on 167. What's going on there,
no
Sully?
bad ideas. That is a bad idea, actually. Okay, looking at 167, it's not great. We've got about a 6-mile backup now that extends from Highway 18 all the way up past Kent. It looks like we may have cleared the first crash at 212, but we're still working with the one blocking the express toll lane right there at the 516 interchange. 35 minutes delayed. It's an hour from Auburn into Renton and an hour and a half all the way. A lot of people, I think, are getting the idea. They're bailing at 18 and heading up to I-5. I-5 can actually handle it through South Center for the next little bit. Not too bad there. Looking at about a 35-minute trip to get you to South Center and about an hour and 10 all the way. Southbound I-5 is really struggling getting into the JBLM area because we've been working with this crash at Thorn Lane. Expect a backup beginning in Lakewood. And coming down from the north end, looks like we might have a crash southbound I-5 right as you get into the Mount Lake Terrace area. I'll have more for you on that in 10 minutes. This report brought to you by Seattle Sports. Search Seattle Sports on YouTube, click subscribe, and get fresh video content daily.
We're headed for a high in the mid-40s today. Partly sunny, chance of showers this afternoon. Right now, it is 37 in Seattle. Coming up, CBS News with the growing tensions in Minnesota. We'll talk about that at the top of the hour.
This is your city.
Seattle voters have spoken, and they wanted change.
Wilson really resonated, especially with some younger voters.
On the terms of working people
people, make it work for them.
Katie Wilson is just actually not afraid to say she's a socialist.
What challenges does the political newcomer face once taking office?
Never having any managerial experience.
Stay with KIRO Newsradio and MyNorthwest.com for the latest.
Change takes time, and we don't give it time.
And the KIRO Newsradio app.
There is one real estate agent who's been helping KIRO listeners longer than anyone else, and that's Wes Jones with sellwithwes.com. Wes, you've helped KIRO listeners in good markets and more difficult ones. What do you think has been the secret to your success?
Thanks, Brandy. Experience has taught us that to outperform the market, we needed to do things differently from the status quo, that we needed to do more. Our exclusive system covers innovative marketing locally and internationally, leading to more eyeballs on your home, better listing prep for better showings, negotiation strategies that eliminate pesky buyer contingencies, and generate stronger offers. Through our exclusive client programs, our sellers enjoy an extraordinary marketing experience utilizing techniques a traditional agent cannot offer.
So if you want to sell your home faster, at a higher price, and with fewer contingencies, if you want more, visit sellwithwes.com. Sellwithwes.com, a better way to sell your home.
For seniors, the new year is a good time to reassess finances. If you're struggling with bills, our friend Steve Teitler of Best Mortgage says a reverse mortgage may be a great way to ease your stress.
Seniors tell me all the time, we love our home, we'd love to stay here, but we just can't afford it anymore. A reverse mortgage lets you tap your home equity for tax-free cash to pay off your mortgage, pay off your debts, and maybe put some extra money in the bank. You've worked hard for that home equity. Now let your home work for you. And best of all, you'll have no mortgage payments the rest of your life.
And you always talk to a real person, not an AI robot.
That's right. You'll get a no-pressure consultation directly from me. Never a sales pitch and never an AI bot.
Honest advice you can trust from Best Mortgage, the reverse mortgage experts, the VA loan and debt consolidation experts too. 425-649-6000. Best Mortgage, 425-649-6000.
G and Ursula, weekdays from 9 to noon on KIRO News Radio.
Endless hours of research, seeking referrals, dozens of calls. Hiring the right attorney can be a challenging process during an already difficult time. JP Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains.
In Washington State, Tom, there are thousands of attorneys to choose from. Referrals and online research can be helpful, but discovering the right attorney requires a conversation. It can be hard to identify integrity and authenticity without that interaction.
So, what do you recommend?
We encourage anyone looking for personal injury representation to call for a free consultation with our team before making a decision simply based on referrals or online research. Accident victims need an attorney that listens, demonstrates honesty, and is genuinely understanding of their unique circumstances. The care, attention, and preparation that our firm provides throughout the case mirrors the effort involved when taking on the insurance companies.
Save time and avoid mistakes after an injury. Contact the caring and compassionate team at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
Start having fun. Caesar Sportsbook at Muckleshoot Casino Resort is your #1 place to eat, drink, watch, and have fun. Keep up with your favorite sports anywhere and everywhere on property with the mobile app. Visit MuckleshootCasino.com today. Scan the QR code and let the play begin.
Muckleshoot. Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it today at carsforkids.org. Your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call 1-877-CARS4KIDS to donate your car today. That's Cars with a K.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio. KIRO FM and HD1. Tacoma, Seattle. Northwest News.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Pfizer.
I'm Steve Kathan. New unrest today in Minneapolis as protesters confront ICE agents the day after one shot and killed a woman. CBS's Usher Qureshi says video evidence contradicts the Trump administration take on the shooting.
We're hearing this narrative that she weaponized her vehicle and was going to run over. We even saw that the president himself posting on Truth Social that actually ran over the officer. And so the idea that there are two competing narratives here that are so diametrically opposite is is sort of fueling this frustration and this anger that we're hearing from people here.
Well, now to Washington, where CBS's Scott McFarlane reports there's a new twist to the Epstein Files story.
It's really a growing wave. A group of U.S. senators of both parties, watchdog groups, and some Epstein survivors are asking the U.S. Department of Justice's Inspector General, the internal watchdog, to investigate whether the department is breaking the law by how it's releasing or not releasing the Jeffrey Epstein case files, or if they're selectively, politically releasing them. No response from the agency.
President Trump tells the New York Times the U.S. could stay in control of Venezuela for years. The latest CBS News poll indicates a split over the weekend raid to seize the country's president. Correspondent Charlie Daggett says the U.S. military is now focused on enforcing a sanctioned oil blockade, as evidenced by yesterday's tanker seizures, one of them in the North Atlantic.
The U.S. forces had tailed the Marinera, formerly named the Bella One, for weeks, allegedly part of the so-called shadow fleet that carries sanctioned Venezuelan oil around the globe. It had recently re-registered as a Russian vessel, and the Kremlin this week dispatched a submarine to escort it. But U.S. forces arrived first.
Well, gamblers are betting on which target President Trump might strike after Venezuela, as we hear from CBS's Michael Wallace.
Someone made more than $400,000 after placing a wager on Polymarket that Nicolas Maduro would be ousted as Venezuela's leader. Now, gamblers are betting whether the U.S. will strike Colombia this year and whether Iran's supreme leader will be out by June 30th. Critics call betting on potential wars and national security ghoulish and tasteless.
Some suggest the big Maduro bet payoff was a case of insider trading. Latest CDC numbers indicate more than 5,000 flu-related deaths this season and 120,000 hospitalizations. Doctor visits, the highest level in more than 25 years. Many families worried.
This flu, it took everybody out.
The kids, they were hit the worst.
And checking Wall Street, right now the Dow is up 242 points. This is CBS News.
You still got it, but your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Sponsored by Pfizer.
It's 8:03 and time to check in with Sully for traffic on the threes.
Yeah, we got a traffic alert in effect right now for those of you driving on southbound I-5 trying to get out of Linwood. We've got a crash involving a couple of different vehicles and a really large response. Only the far right lane is open on southbound I-5 approaching 220th in the Mount Lake Terrace area, and we're backed up all the way past Mill Creek already, and I mean solid. It's up to an hour and 10 minutes. We've added basically 20 minutes to that trip because of this. We also have heavy brake lights on southbound 405 through Canyon Park. We had a crash near 195th and Beardsley. Just moved that one over to the shoulder, but we've got about an hour and 10-minute trip for you guys as well. So pretty ugly there in that Linwood area. Coming up from the south end, it's still struggling on northbound 167 as you make your way from about Emerald Downs all the way up to Kent. Still have just the far right lane open there as well on northbound 167, right approaching 516 in Kent. So plan on about a 50-minute trip from Auburn to Renton and an hour and 20 all the way from Puyallup. Renton to Bellevue's about 40. Federal Way to Seattle can handle some of that diversion if you want to get up there. It's only an hour from Federal Way to Seattle. And we have cleared the crash on southbound I-5 getting through JBLM at Thorn Lane. This report brought to you by Subaru Puyallup. Confident winter driving starts at Subaru Puyallup. Stress-free pricing, SubaruPuyallup.com. Stress-free buying at Subaru Puyallup, your stress-free dealership.
8:04 on the Thursday, January 8th, 2026 edition of Seattle's Morning News. I'm Charlie Harger. Manda Factor has the day off. There were protests last night against ICE in downtown Seattle. Hundreds attended. It was a peaceful rally. Meantime, we're hearing the reaction of local lawmakers and Washington's representatives in Congress after the death of that Minneapolis woman at the hands of ICE. Here's KIRO Newsradio's Jillian Raftery.
Outrage and demands for a full investigation from Washington's Democratic representatives in Congress. On X, Senator Maria Cantwell said the shooting of Renee Nicole Good was, quote, deeply disturbing, and we cannot have federal agents killing people in our neighborhoods. Senator Patty Murray went further and called it an execution and that the Department of Homeland Security needed to rein in, quote, out-of-control agents. Representative Pramila Jayapal of Seattle wrote that the reaction from the Trump administration was disgusting and that ICE needs to get out of cities. Jillian Raftery for KIRO Newsradio.
Now, we have reached out to Washington's two Republican representatives, Michael Baumgartner and Dan Newhouse, who both represent districts in eastern Washington. We will bring you their comments as we get them. And just a quick note that in about 7-8 minutes from now, we're going to speak live with Congressman Adam Smith, House Democrat, and he will give his response to not only the situation in Minneapolis, but also developments in Venezuela. 8:06 now, major deal for Washington's aerospace industry. A reminder of what's at stake for air safety nationwide. Alaska Airlines has placed the largest order in its history, agreeing to buy more than 100 jets from Boeing. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy was in town for the signing ceremony yesterday, where he stressed the need for the FAA to modernize its technology. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey is here with more.
Hey, let's start with the Alaska deal first of all. It's a big one, a total of 110 planes from Boeing, 105 737 MAX 10 planes, and 5 787 wide bodies. Also, there's an option for 35 more MAX planes on the same timeline over the next 10 years. All right, let's move on to the livery. Have you all seen the new livery in this jet?
What's a livery, Luke?
Well, Sean Duffy didn't know what a livery was yesterday either. He said during the ceremony, I learned a new word. It's a paint job. The paint job. If you're watching on our YouTube feed, check it out. So that's the old one on our YouTube feed if you're watching, the tail.
With the guy, some people call him Chester.
Oh, I didn't know
Other
that.
people call him Oliver. And I was looking up online. Some people ask, why is Abraham Lincoln on the back of an Alaska Airlines jet?
I do not see that. Well, here's the new one. Here's the new look. Look at that tail. This is called Aurora Global Livery.
Where's the guy? Where's Chester?
Gone, man. And then we've got a pretty shot of the look at that. It'd be with the sun setting on that's a good looking, sleek design.
It's good looking. Is this only on their 787s, or are they putting this on the 737s?
Good question. They had a 787 on the tarmac yesterday for the ceremony. I don't know, Sully, do you know the answer to that? Are they doing it in all planes?
I do not.
Or?
I had heard that it would mostly be the long range jets, the 787s.
Makes sense. They call it the global livery.
Yeah.
Well,
there you go.
It's in the name. Maybe.
Livery.
Secretary Duffy told Seattle Red 770 yesterday, this deal is big, but it also means that American manufacturing is back on the map.
We're going to make the best products in the world, not just for Americans, but we're going to make those products for the rest of the world.
He also shared what steps the FAA is taking right now to overhaul their technology and to keep us all safe in the air.
So we're moving from copper to fiber, analog to digital. We just announced that we are buying brand new radar for the whole system.
And to get all that done, the FAA has brought in companies from the private sector to help move things along quicker. Duffy says it typically takes the FAA some 15 years or more to make major technology changes. The problem with that is,
by the time you deploy what's new technology today, 15 or 20 years from now, it's old technology. So we're going to move faster.
So the goal, Charlie, is to get all this work done by 2028. The FAA also needs to implement a whole new software system sometime down the road. A lot of the equipment the FAA has, I mean, you kind of heard him say it just for a second there, they're still using old copper wires that used to be used in the telephone system back in the 1980s. That's just crazy. As for the new deal, again, it's a big one, and they've got the livery now. The paint job livery. Looks
paint
beautiful.
job.
Livery.
Okay. You know the livery I don't like?
What?
Was inside the Mercer Street Tunnel recently. Oh, graffiti's back. Bad livery. Thank you, Luke.
You got it.
It is 8:09.
Keeping you informed since 1974. This is the city's longest-running radio news show.
Seattle's Morning News on KIRO News Radio.
It's 8:10 now, and thanks for joining us. I'm Charlie Harger. Manda has the day off, a busy half hour in front of us. We have Congressman Adam Smith joining the show in about 5 minutes. He's going to talk about Venezuela and the shooting in Minnesota. And G. Scott will stop by with some new survey information about people moving to Washington State. Crime scene DNA test results come in minutes rather than weeks or months. It's emerging technology now in the hands of King County Sheriff's deputies. KIRO News Radio's James Lynch has details.
It's called a rapid DNA machine. It can process crime scene DNA in just 90 minutes. King County Sheriff's Captain Chris Leba says that will reduce the number of samples that need to be sent to the Washington State Patrol Crime Lab.
Let's say 100 sexual assault kits, and we only get viable DNA out of, let's say, 20 of the kits. Those 20 victims are getting justice faster because they're sitting in a queue of 20 instead of a queue of 100.
It cost about $230,000, paid for by a federal grant. King County expects to begin using the machine for low-level felony cases by the end of this month. James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
Well, the power's back on at Stevens Pass after an outage yesterday. The ski area has announced it will open at 9 this morning. But as we hear from KIRO 7 TV's Dee Dee Sun, it's been a rough season there.
First of all, they had a late season opening because of a lack of snow. Plus, access to the slopes on US 2 is still limited after historic rain caused slides and severe road damage. There is now a pilot car leading drivers across construction zones to access Stevens Pass.
UW plans to take legal action after the Husky quarterback, Damon Williams Jr., announced he plans to enter the transfer portal. Williams already signed a contract to play for the Huskies. Fox Sports college football analyst Joel Klatt spoke to 710 Seattle Sports.
I feel really bad for Washington in this scenario. I think Damon Williams is getting bad advice, and I think that there is major tampering going on.
Yahoo Sports reports UW suspects another school contacted Williams, offered him more money. Big Ten Conference is looking into the matter. 8:12 now. Time to get a check on weather. It's brought to us by State Roofing and Exteriors. Here's KIRO 7's Nick Allard.
A few spotty rain showers this morning, but we are more dry than wet. You will see rain increasing a little, staying generally spotty, though. However, I think we're going to see a Puget Sound convergence zone around Skagit and Snohomish counties that could lead to some snow, wet snow, or really anywhere. If it's heavy or if it's above, say, 800 to 1,000 feet, it'll be pretty isolated, but you still will probably see it in those spots. And then this afternoon, drying out. I don't think we'll have much rain left besides some light stuff in the morning tomorrow. Highs will be in the 40s. You'll still see a lot of mountain snow, another 4 to 8 inches at least. And then tomorrow we dry out and stay dry until Saturday evening at least. And then it's wet and warmer Sunday and Monday with highs in the 40s and 50s.
36 now in Seattle. 8:13, time to get a check on traffic. We check in with Chris Sullivan.
Little positive news for those of you stuck in the 5-mile backup on southbound I-5 trying to get from South Everett down through the Linwood area. The crash we have in Mount Lake Terrace has finally cleared over to the left-hand shoulder. Still have about an hour and 15-minute trip to make that drive from Everett to Seattle. About an hour and 10 from Everett to Bellevue now that we've cleared that crash in Beardsley. Looking at northbound 167, still struggling. Bumper to bumper, basically from Auburn all the way up through Kent. Only the far right shoulder is getting by this crash right there at 516 in the Kent area. And for one of the first times, if not the first time when I've been working during a morning commute, we've actually hit the $15 max on 167 since they made that change in tolling equipment in October because of this crash. The travel time from Auburn to Renton is still about 50 minutes. That's still about 30 minutes longer than it should be. Federal Way to Seattle, if you wanted to come up 18 and go and try that, not too bad. Federal Way to South Center is only running around 25 minutes and a little under an hour all the way to Seattle, which is pretty good. Olympia to Tacoma's got about a 35-minute trip, and the Lake Bridges are still in fine shape. This report brought to you by the Emerald Queen Casino. Live professional boxing back with the main event. February 6th at the Emerald Queen Casino. Main event powered by WFC. February 6th only at the Emerald Queen, the entertainment capital of the Northwest.
Seattle's tradition for news and conversation. This is Seattle's Morning News with Charlie Harger and Manda Factor.
8:14 now. I've wanted to talk to this guy all week, and I'm glad we finally been able to make it happen this morning. It has been a busy week in military and foreign affairs. U.S. seized 2 oil tankers yesterday amidst the continued involvement in Venezuela. We have this proposed involvement in Greenland, and joining us now to break it all down is Congressman Adam Smith, the top Democrat, the ranking member on the House Armed Services Committee. Adam, thank you for joining us this morning. Before we talk about that, I saw you on CNN yesterday just with your initial reaction to situation in Minneapolis. Maybe you can share with the audience just what you're feeling right now after seeing that video.
Yeah, no, it's a very scary time, and I think this is just the obvious and terrible outcome of the way Trump has approached law enforcement. I mean, frankly, we see it also in the way he has approached the use of our military with the boat strikes in the Caribbean, whereby there seems to be no accountability, and the message going out to all law enforcement and military personnel is, do what you got to do. There are no rules. There will be no accountability. Be as tough and as strong and as forceful as possible. Look, when you are in the military or in law enforcement, that's an incredible responsibility. To have you're empowered by the government to take someone's life if necessary. You should take that responsibility really seriously and work very carefully to make sure that you don't use it unless it's absolutely necessary. And the cavalier language coming from Kristi Noem and coming from Donald Trump and Pete Hegseth, I mean, he did this ridiculous video of Yertle the turtle blowing up drug traffickers, making a joke out of it, creates a culture that doesn't have accountability and leads to this type of an excessive use of force. That is my opinion. This is an absolute tragedy in Minnesota. It does not strike me as a one-off. It strikes me as a pattern in terms of how the Trump administration seems to think they should enforce the law. It is a violation of the rights of the American people and incredibly dangerous for all of us.
Let's move on to Venezuela, Congressman, because I think a lot of us woke up on Saturday morning rather surprised by what had just transpired. Did you wake up surprised Saturday morning?
I wasn't that surprised. I mean, I didn't see it coming. They didn't tell me about it. But given what Trump has said and the way he has behaved elsewhere, he is given to bold, rash, short-term actions. So it didn't shock me given the rhetoric that had led up to it.
What is your thinking now that you've been briefed on it? You're one of the few members of the House or Senate who got a briefing on this. What is your takeaway now that you've heard the administration's rationale?
Yeah, well, it's created a very dangerous situation. And the thing is, you can't just look at that operation to remove Maduro in isolation. You have to look at what Trump has said. First, about Venezuela. In the immediate aftermath of this, he said, we are running Venezuela and they need to give us their oil. Okay, that was his message. At the same time, you have legitimate opposition leaders. You have, I'm forgetting the guy's name now, who won the election in 2024 that Maduro stole. And then you have Maria Machado, who was barred from running in that election. She is the real leader of the opposition, who just won the Nobel Peace Prize. And Trump pushed both of them aside. And now we have in power, basically the Maduro regime is still in power. His vice president has stepped up and taken over. And we appear to be focused on cutting a deal to get Venezuela's oil, which we're well on the way to doing. But look, the legitimate reasons to be concerned about Maduro is he has destroyed the country. And that has led to problems for the region all the way up to us. I mean, the economy has been completely collapsed. Chavez got that started by taking over everything, every business, and then just stealing the money for his cronies and running those businesses into the ground. So somewhere in the neighborhood of 8 million people have fled Venezuela in desperation. And that's created a migrant problem for us in the entire region. It has also empowered drug cartels and human traffickers by giving them a population that, well, number one, can't control them, and number two, is desperate for whatever work they can find. Major, major problem. But removing Maduro and putting his underlings in power just so they will give us their oil doesn't help Venezuela. And then the broader message where Trump talks about how, well, we should take Panama, we should take Colombia, we should take Cuba, we should take Greenland, we should annex Canada. That message of Western might makes right imperialism undermines the rule of law, not just in Latin America, but across the world. And also, it kind of empowers our adversaries, because what brought Chavez and Castro, for that matter, to power was Western imperialism. And the fact that we were actively involved down there and created economies that left masses of people in poverty. They were desperate for an alternative. So they turned to what turned out to be a horrible alternative, which was Castro and Chavez. Now here we are walking back in, restarting that cycle. instead of coming back in and saying, we have a plan to help Latin America build a better broad-based economy. There's a number of other problems with this, but I'll stop there. I think that's enough to work on for the moment.
Congressman, does this raise any concern for you? I think of Russia watching this right now and saying, well, okay, maybe we can just go grab Zelensky if that's something that the United States did. I'm not trying to compare the two necessarily, but does this give free rein?
Yeah, no, look, and there's a long history lesson, which I don't have time to get into. But prior to World War II, basically, this was sort of the way the world worked. Might made right. The cliche line from foreign policy experts was, the strong take what they can, the weak suffer what they must. There's no rule of law. There's no sovereignty. The more powerful countries take what they want and do what they want. And that led to a whole series of world wars, the last one of which very nearly exterminated the planet. So when it ended, we were like, maybe we should try something different. So we put in place sovereignty as a cornerstone principle, and also international institutions to resolve differences instead of force. And Stephen Miller summed up the Trump way of looking at the world best a couple of days ago, which is screw all of that. It's a jungle out there, people. We're back to Thomas Hobbes' nasty, brutish, and short life, where the powerful take what they want. We're going to try and do that. And yes, that absolutely sends a message to Putin and Xi and every other wannabe, dictator out there in the world who thinks they can build up an army and go take what they want. So yes, it absolutely has problems that go beyond just Trump's desire to dominate the Western Hemisphere.
Speaking of Greenland, there has been talk of, military intervention there. There's been talk of buying Greenland. What do you make of all this talk?
Yeah, well, a couple of big things about it. First of all, the dishonesty in being a Trump supporter these days is he says this stuff, and then Marco Rubio comes out and says, well, no, he's just talking about buying Greenland. People have been talking about buying Greenland, for over 150 years. And he's not wrong about that second part. Seward back in the day, after he bought Alaska, apparently had some interest in buying Greenland. A couple other presidents have as well. And that's all well and good. I mean, Greenland is absolutely strategically important for a whole bunch of different reasons, but that's not what Trump said. Trump is the first president we've had. Even in the 19th century, we didn't say that we were going to take it by force. Trump has said blatantly he is not ruling out using military force to take Greenland from, first of all, the Greenland people there who live there, but second of all, from Denmark, which actually controls it, that is a close NATO ally. So Trump threatening the use of force against a NATO ally undermines all of our security arrangements and in the partnerships and allies that we have built. Because that's the other problem with might makes right. You tend to wind up going it alone. Our great strength as a foreign power for the last 80 years, and even during World War II, for that matter, is the partnerships and alliances that we have built. Threatening one of those core partners, and a very reliable partner, by the way, with military force to take territory from them, undermines everything we're trying to do.
And we just have a moment left, but I know you graduated from law school at UW back in, I think it was 1990. Demond Williams Jr., the UW quarterback, is a guy who has decided to enter the transfer portal. UW says this isn't legal. He signed a contract with us. A, your reaction to that, and B, what can Congress do to maybe clean up this whole mess with the NCAA right now and players just spending a year at a team and moving on?
Well, as a lifelong University of Washington diehard fan, I could tell stories, but I went to Nebraska in 1991 and saw us beat Nebraska in the year that we won the national title. Huge fan, love it. A whole bunch of things that are disturbing about it. First of all, commitments apparently mean absolutely nothing. Now, if you want to say you can transfer whatever, you sign a contract and then you think that contract doesn't mean anything. You make that commitment and you just tear it up. Now, I think commitments to people should matter whether or not you happen to get $1 million more. As I understand it, we promised Demond Williams $4 million for 1 year of playing college football. I think that's probably a pretty good deal. You don't need to detonate contracts and alienate people to do it. Major problem. It's also disrupted college football. And yes, there is the SCORE Act, which would be a way to give NCAA greater power to regulate all of this stuff. Which I think is fine, but we have to make sure that we do it in a way that doesn't just empower the most powerful conferences, most powerful teams. I want to support all sports, not just the major college football program. So that's the big challenge right now. But yes, I think Congress should act to bring some semblance of order to the chaos that is college sports, because it doesn't just affect the sports that we watch on TV. It affects, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of athletes playing tennis, volleyball, all manner of other things, which are really important for young people having those opportunities in college.
Well, I bet that's the only time you get asked that question all week, Congressman. So thanks for sounding off on it.
Thanks for giving me the opportunity. I've certainly been talking with my friends and family about it a lot. So I appreciate the opportunity to speak publicly.
Congressman Adam Smith, we look forward to talking to you next time. Thanks for joining us. It's time to check traffic. Here's Sully.
5 mile backup getting better on northbound 167. The crash that we've had right near Willis in Kent. Now just the express toll lane is blocked, so we've opened up 2 out of 3 lanes. Still have about a 50-minute trip out of Auburn and an hour and 15-minute trip from Puyallup. If you want to go over to I-5 to get around this, it's going to be faster. Federal Way to Seattle's only running an hour. Coming down from the north end, bumper to bumper from 128 down through Mount Lake Terrace. We had an earlier crash that blocked most of the freeway there at 212. Still about an hour and 15 from Everett to Seattle or Everett to Bellevue because of that. This report brought to you by Bucky's Complete Auto Care. For 50 years, Bucky's has earned local trust with honest pricing, guaranteed repairs. That's why they're Carfax preferred. Bucky's.com.
For seniors, the new year is a good time to reassess finances. If you're struggling with bills, our friend Steve Teitler of Best Mortgage says a reverse mortgage may be a great way to ease your stress.
Seniors tell me all the time, we love our home, we'd love to stay here, but we just can't afford it anymore. A reverse mortgage lets you tap your home equity for tax-free cash to pay off your mortgage, pay off your debts, and maybe put some extra money in the bank. You've worked hard for that home equity. Now let your home work for you. And best of all, you'll have no mortgage payments the rest of your life.
And you always talk to a real person, not an AI robot.
That's right. You'll get a no-pressure consultation directly from me. Never a sales pitch and never an AI bot.
Honest advice you can trust from Best Mortgage, the reverse mortgage experts, the VA loan and debt consolidation experts too. 425-649-6000. Best Mortgage, 425-649-6000.
Saving for retirement was tough enough for us.
Yes, and navigating markets can be challenging at times.
I understand. That's why at Fisher Investments, we take a disciplined approach with your investments.
Tell us more about that.
We take an active approach to money management, positioning your portfolio for opportunities we see ahead.
So all your clients get the same portfolio?
No, we tailor your portfolio to your individual goals and needs.
What about communication? We don't like being left in the dark.
We check in regularly to keep you informed on the markets and your portfolio.
Which means you'll help us stay on track.
Yes, our goal is your comfortable retirement. And as a fiduciary, we always put your interests first, because we do better when you do better. At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
An illegal alien from Guatemala charged with raping a child in Massachusetts. An MS-13 gang member from El Salvador accused of murdering a Texas man. A Venezuelan charged with filming and selling child pornography in Michigan. These are just some of the heinous migrant criminals caught because of President Donald J. Trump's leadership. I'm Kristi Noem, the United States Secretary of Homeland Security. Under President Trump, attempted illegal border crossings are at the lowest levels ever recorded, and over 100,000 illegal aliens have been arrested. If you are here illegally, you're next. You will be fined nearly $1,000 a day, imprisoned, and deported. You will never return. But if you register using our CBP Home app and leave now, you could be allowed to return legally. Do what's right. Leave now. Under President Trump, America's laws, border, and families will be protected.
Sponsored by the United States Department of Homeland Security.
I love the fact that Mike Novak sells more homes than anybody else. This guy works so hard. You know what's happening? People are selling their homes again. And if you don't have Mike Novak's name on that sign, well, you're wasting your time and your house is just going to be sitting on the market. Mike is so confident that he can sell your house quickly. And for more, you'll pay no commission if Mike Novak doesn't sell that home in 21 days. So go to meetthenovaks.com. I'll spell Novaks for you. Novaks. Meetthenovaks.com.
Progressive's accident response can detect and send help when you need it most after a major car accident. But other accidents, you're on your own. Like when you accidentally call your wife Mom. When you accidentally say Happy Holidays on someone's birthday. When you accidentally wave at someone you thought was waving at you. We can't help with those accidents, but Progressive's accident response provides peace of mind after major car accidents. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Limited availability in California. Driver is responsible for emergency and towing charges not covered by the policy.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment? That's a lie. Most timeshares can be bought online for $1. To find out what your timeshare is worth and to cancel it, call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit kit free with all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley for your free exit info guide. 800-771-1300. That's 800-771-1300.
Best Mortgage is proud to be the longest-running mortgage company on KIRO Radio. Over 20 years, they've been giving honest advice you can trust as your VA loan and reverse mortgage experts and debt consolidation specialists, too. Just web search Best Mortgage.
Gold, platinum, and Grammy-winning trumpeter Chris Bodie crossed over from jazz to pop stardom. Now he's crossing back. Hear his return to acoustic jazz and classic standards live at Jazz Alley, January 14th through 18th. Tickets at jazzalley.com.
Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and MyNorthwest.com.
Live from East Lake Avenue,
Seattle's morning news.
8:31, let's check in with Luke Ducey, who is here with a major deal for Washington's aerospace industry. Alaska has its largest order in history with Boeing, agreeing to buy more than 100 jets. And Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy was in town for the signing ceremony, where he talked about the need for the FAA to modernize technology. Luke Ducey, you are here with more.
I am indeed. It's a huge deal for Alaska Airlines and for Boeing. A total of 110 planes from Boeing, including 105 737 MAX 10 planes and 5 787 wide bodies. Also, there's an option for 35 more MAX planes on the same timeline over the next 10 years. You know what? We're going to check out the livery. Not right now. The new livery or paint job on the 787 in just a moment. You're going to want to watch on our YouTube feed. So click over there right now. You got some time. And I've got a surprise for Sully in that mix as well. In the meantime, Secretary Duffy told Seattle Red 770.
Is it a cake?
We're going to find a cake. We're going to celebrate. Yeah.
Right.
The deal. Anyways, Duffy was like, he's really excited about this deal. He had a lot of good things to say about both companies while he was here in Seattle yesterday, including that the deal in his mind means American manufacturing is back.
We're going to make the best products in the world, not just for Americans, but we're going to make those products for the rest of the world.
He also shared what steps the FAA is taking right now to overhaul their technology and keep us all safe up in the air.
So we're moving from copper to fiber, analog to digital. We just announced that we are buying brand new radar for the whole system.
I mean, copper to fiber, that's a big one. And that should have been done years ago, he says. But, to get all that done, the FAA has brought in companies from the private sector now to help move things along. And their goal is to get all that work done by 2028, so pretty quick. But have you seen this new livery on the 787?
The paint job?
Yeah, the paint job.
Well, I have.
The paint job. It's we've got photos of it. We're going to share right now on our YouTube feed. So there it is. Yeah, that's slick. You know what that's called? It's called Aurora Global Livery.
No guy on the back, though.
No guy on the back. It's a little different. And there's the old version. So there's the guy on the back. And his name is, again, two names, right?
Chester or Oliver. I think there was a guy named Chester who worked with Alaska in the 30s as a guide, something like that. There's a lot of lore about it.
Well, we've been, talking about the new paint jobs on Alaska, and there's been so many designs over the year. They do such a great job, from Disney to Make-A-Wish to colleges and universities. Here are a couple more that I love. This one's called Salmon People. Ooh. I think this is the coolest one they've got. Inuit design. You can see the salmon there in the front. There is one with a salmon on the plane as well. They fly in every year and deliver the first Copper River salmon. I've done that story years ago. I think that one's pretty cool. And then, of course, killer whales.
I love that one. I'm partial to the orcas. That's really cool.
I was going to say a lot of people love that one. And what's not to love? It's fantastic. And then finally, for Sully, probably the best design of all, Montana State.
Wow. That's AI right there, right?
No, it's a real plane.
No, it isn't.
Yeah, it is. It's a Frontier. It's a Frontier Embraer. So it's one of those regional planes. It's a jet prop plane, but that's real. Have you never flown on that plane or seen it?
No, because the logos don't match.
Well, they have one for the Grizz too.
Well, yeah, I'm sure they do. But
it's just a trash can.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Luke. We got to get to Sully with traffic. Good stuff.
I do like
there.
that, though. Looking at southbound I-5, still struggling from 128th at South Everett down through Mount Lake Terrace. We had an earlier crash in that general area that almost blocked the entire freeway for a while. So we still have about an hour and 15-minute trip from Everett to Seattle or Everett to Bellevue because of that series of breaks you have to deal with. Northbound 167 struggling. 5-mile backup from Auburn all the way up through Kent. Express toll lane remains blocked there at 516. We've got a 45-minute trip from Auburn to Renton and an hour and 15 all the way from Puyallup. So that's behind schedule by 20. If you wanted to bail, come up I-5. Federal Way to Seattle's only running 55 minutes. Renton to Bellevue, 35. The lake bridges are good. KIRO Newsradio Real-Time Traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
This is the city's longest-running radio news show. Seattle's morning news on KIRO Newsradio.
And in this week's Tech Talk, a team of researchers at Anthropic says hackers recently used AI to help run a cyber attack, marking what may be the first known case of AI directing a hacking campaign in a largely automated way. Here's Luke with more.
It's like something out of a movie where sci-fi meets espionage.
A multi-stage attack that moves faster than any humans could.
Kristen Flynn Goodwin, a cybersecurity expert who spent 2 decades at Microsoft and now heads advanced cyber law, is following a recent cyber operation linked to the Chinese government where hackers largely planned and guided their attacks using AI. Researchers at Anthropic say the hackers were able to manipulate their popular AI platform, Claude, using so-called jailbreaking techniques, tricking Claude into bypassing safety guardrails by posing as legitimate cybersecurity workers. That allowed the bad guys to conduct high-level automated attacks to infiltrate some 30 tech, finance, and chemical companies and federal agencies faster and on a scale not yet seen before. They got Claude largely to do all their dirty work for them while they sat back and watched it happen.
So that's really a game changer.
Flynn Goodwin tells me the attack is catching the attention of cybersecurity experts everywhere because
not only can nation states do it, so can advanced criminals, and then that will trickle down.
And what makes it really scary for all of us,
we don't have defenses for things like that today.
In today's world of AI, hackers have the upper hand. AI gives them unlimited speed and scale and allows them to take risks getting caught. Meanwhile, companies developing AI platforms are forced to move carefully, lawfully, and selectively.
AI and agentic AI is evolving so quickly that imagine we're building the roads at the same time that we're learning how to drive.
To solve that dilemma, governments and the private sector need more time to develop standards and controls, to install checks and balances on what bad guys can and can't do. However, those don't exist just yet, and making things worse.
When we used to get spam or phishing, there were spelling errors, there were mistakes, things that would trick our eyes and let us know this isn't right.
However, with AI,
those are all going to be gone. AI is going to get rid of that. So now the defenses we used to have, the human defenses, are gone.
Flynn Goodwin also says the reason we have not seen an attack like this on a mega company like AWS, Google, or Microsoft, she fears is because this was a test on a smaller company. And ironically, just like AI,
the actors are going to take this back, they're going to learn, they're going to get better, and we're going to see more of this.
You know, one thing we do know how to do in Tech Talk is drop a beat, Charlie. Seriously, though, this is a huge dilemma. And I'm like, look, nobody wants to tell a company driving innovation that, hey, slow down. Slow down. Let's figure this thing out as we go. But the rules of the road, the guardrails are just not in place right now because tech is moving so quickly. So we are absolutely going to see more attacks in the future.
Okay. Well, Luke, thanks for that promising news. Skynet is about to become self-aware, apparently.
We'll drop the beat again.
Okay. Sully, what's coming up in traffic?
Well, I'm going to be listening to Daft Punk for the next couple of minutes as we work our way towards the biggest problem, which is northbound 167, trying to get up through Kent. Big problems there. We'll break it down next.
How about a simple New Year's resolution, one that even I was able to achieve? Reverse the clock on hair loss with Advanced Hair's simple one-day FUE treatment. You'll feel more confident and more youthful when you witness your own natural hair growing into those places that have been balding or thinning for years. I'm surprised and relieved every time I look in the mirror. You need to know what that feels like. From Advanced Hair's breakthrough technology to their highly experienced team, there is no one I would trust more than Advanced Hair Restoration. I experienced their exceptional standard of care firsthand. Your comfort and your results are the top priority of the entire Advanced Hair team. Celebrate this new year with a fuller head of hair and get a free consultation, $250 off, and 250 free hair grafts. Call 425-449-8185. That's 425-449-8185. Discover what meeting your resolutions could look like with the before and after pictures at advancedhair.com.
Eric Johnson here. I covered a lot of accidents over the past 30 years or so, but I never got to say much about what to do after a crash. Be honest, do you know what evidence to collect, what pictures to take, what documents to request, or what you shouldn't say to your insurance company? The Washington Accident Book Series is a must-have for drivers who want to be prepared for whatever the roads throw at them. Know your rights and how to avoid common mistakes after an accident by getting your free copy at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
What does VA mean to me?
A place for my daughter to call home, thanks to the VA Home Loan.
A new lease on life. The best healthcare team I've ever had is here at VA.
And education, and the opportunity to open doors I never thought possible with my GI Bill.
The financial support I need to manage the disabilities I developed because of my service.
Get what you earned. Visit choose.va.gov.
Not all veterans are eligible for the type or amount of benefits mentioned here.
It all comes down to this, folks.
Yep, the entire season is on the line.
But my throat has officially thrown in the towel. Sounds like you need Vicks VapoCool drops. They're max strength and vaporize sore throat pain.
Whoa! These VapoCool drops hit fast.
Speaking of fast, did you just see that play?
Yeah, he vaporized that ball.
That pun should have come with a penalty.
Vaporize sore throat pain with Vicks VapoCool drops. Use as directed.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You need someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now you can meet them fast on ZipRecruiter.
Build your team, build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
8:43, let's check in with Sully for traffic on the 3s.
As the traffic is getting better in most places, we are still struggling on the Valley Freeway. 5-mile backup from Auburn at Highway 18 all the way up to Willis and Kent because of this long-term crash that still has the express toll lane blocked. It's going to take you 45 minutes alone just from Auburn on up into Renton, which is about a 15-minute delay minimum, hour and 10, maybe an hour and 15 all the way, because now we have a new issue blocking the right lane on northbound 167 coming out of Sumner at Stewart. So the Valley Freeway has had some significant problems today. Tacoma itself's in good shape. Federal Way to Seattle looks really good. I mean, if you wanted to bail at 18, head up to I-5 and go north, you will get around that 5-mile backup on the Valley Freeway. It's only like 20 minutes or less to get you up into South Center if you were to jump on there at Federal Way. And it's about 55 minutes all the way. The last couple miles, I mean, certainly are going to be slow, but the front part of that drive is pretty good. Renton to Bellevue, about 35 to 40 minutes. Also seeing brake lights over the top of I-90. Lake bridges are still in pretty good shape. Still seeing braking on southbound I-5, working your way through Linwood down into Mount Lake Terrace. That's because of a long-term crash that's over on the left shoulder near 220th. Got about an hour drive from Everett to Seattle or Everett to Bellevue as things are thinning out there. So it's just going to take a little bit longer. The Valley Freeway right now is still the worst. KIRO Newsradio Real-Time Traffic, I'm Chris Sullivan.
Occasional showers today, but we should clear up a bit with partly sunny skies this afternoon, a high of 44. 49 morning showers tomorrow afternoon, sun breaks, and it'll be mostly cloudy on Saturday, but also a high of 49. Right now in Seattle, it's 35. Coming up, G. Scott stops by, some new data out surrounding how many people moved to our state in 2025. She talks about it next on Seattle's Morning News.
Guys, if your energy is low, your strength isn't what it used to be, or your drive feels off, it's not just getting older. For many men, it's low testosterone. At Revive Men's Health Washington, you can start with a free T-check, exam, and consultation so you get real answers about your testosterone levels and overall health. And this month only, qualified patients may receive 25% off testosterone replacement therapy. This isn't guesswork or one-size-fits-all treatment. Revive specializes in personalized, closely monitored testosterone care designed to help men feel stronger, sharper, and more like themselves again. With over 120,000 patients treated since 2011, Revive Men's Health is trusted for results, not hype. If you've been putting this off, now is the time to act. Claim your free T-check and consultation and see if you qualify for 25% off TRT. This month only. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com. Terms apply, must medically qualify.
Hey there, Dawn Riling with Olympic Hot Tub. Ready to kick off 2026 on a healthier path? Our New Year, New You event has everything you need, from saltwater hot tubs to rejuvenating saunas and cold plunges, or staying active with a swim spa. We've got the perfect way to help you feel your best. Enjoy special savings on our entire wellness lineup now through January 11th. OlympicHotTub.com. Better you, better life.
Olympic Hot Tub.
A lot of businesses are looking ahead for guidance and the right partners in the new year, and the right bank can make a difference, right, Brad?
That's right, Dave. And WaFd Bank can help with business checking, express loans, lines of credit, business credit cards, and so much more. WaFd Bank is also an SBA preferred lender, so you can grow with confidence.
What about when you need help with something? In this digital age, does WaFd have an actual person available?
Absolutely. Our friendly and knowledgeable local business bankers are ready and waiting to help you with whatever your business might need. From day one, our bankers get to know you and your business to build a strong foundation for future success. This especially helps when it's time to apply for loans and to spot gaps in your business operations, so we can recommend the service that would be most helpful.
And to learn more, visit wafedbank.com or visit your local branch. Discover why they were awarded Best Bank multiple years in a row by numerous financial publications. WaFd Bank, built for business. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. Loan subject to credit approval. Non-sufficient funds charges may apply.
At Guardian Roofing, Gutters, and Insulation, we know the key to a long-lasting roof is yearly maintenance. Need an inspection, repair, restoration, moss removal, or just a cleanup? You can trust Guardian's licensed, insured, and expertly trained team. We offer free estimates, second opinions, and financing, giving you the peace of mind your home deserves. Call today. Our first-time customers can save $99 on our award-winning roof repair and cleaning service. Visit us at guardianroofing.com.
Seattle's Morning News. Hear it live, stream it online, watch the show, or catch the podcast anytime on mynorthwest.com.
You know, two things I enjoy. First of all, talking about U-Haul. And second of all, talking with G. Scott from the G and Ursula Show and the Reset Podcast. This morning, I'm able to do both. G, you are here. There's some new data on moving.
Yeah.
What are you learning here?
I'm learning and have been reminded that it is still feelings over facts. Okay. A lot of folks have been talking about that they're leaving Washington. There's going to be this mass exodus of Washington. However, data and facts say not so fast, my friend. The latest U-Haul growth data shows Washington actually ranks among the top states where more people are moving to than from. Let me say that again. They're moving to than from, even with the high housing costs and all of the things that goes on in Washington that people talk about. So that tells us two things. One, not everyone is bailing. There's still some factors that keep people here. Jobs, quality of life. And you know what? Let me give a shout out to, we got some good people in Washington. The communities, they're pretty good compared to around the country. And two, when it comes to, migration and leaving and coming, it's a little bit more nuanced. And I know that there is opinion one way or the other. The truth of the matter is the state of Washington is probably one of not just the most beautiful states here in the country, but one of the best states. And it's the reason why on January 15th, it will be 27 years that I've been here.
Yeah, it was able to entice you 27 years ago. Why did you decide to move here?
Well, I was just here doing a door-to-door sales, and I was only supposed to be here for 6 months, and then I was heading to Boise, Idaho. Well, when I got here, January 15th, I'll never forget, 1999, I know this because it was my password on my suitcase that I used to carry. Did you ever carry a suitcase?
Yeah, I guess so.
Not suitcase, briefcase.
Oh, briefcase.
Briefcase. Did you ever carry a briefcase? I carried a briefcase, and that was my password.
Okay.
Anyway, so when I got here, I was like, man, this is ugly. It's raining every day. Then you guys set records in early 1999. I was like, man, I can't wait to get out of here. Well, I was supposed to leave in June, and then I had one of those weekends where Seattle is beautiful, and I was like, oh, okay. Well, how about I just go at the end of the summer? Well, I never made it to the end of the summer.
What were you selling door to door?
Children's toys, electronics. So, for example,
how do you get somebody to buy something? If you walk up to their door, I'm just shutting the door. I'm telling them to buzz off. How does G. Scott make this happen? Make a living doing it.
Let's say I come to your business or your house, and you have a no soliciting sign on there. And it says no soliciting.
Read it, bub.
It's going to come right here. And I'm going to come there, knock on your door, knock, knock, and then go ahead and tell me, like, soon as you no soliciting, or if there's a no soliciting sign.
No thanks.
Huh?
No thanks.
Totally understand, no problem. First of all, I just want to say my name's G. Nice to meet you, sir.
No thanks.
I did see the no soliciting sign. Didn't mean to bother you.
Oh, good.
But I was just down the street, and I don't know if you know Lois down the street. She just got 15 of these, and she told me to come right over to you. So before you say no, sir, hold this for me, and I'm going to give you an amazing deal. Check this out. Once I get it in your hand, remember yesterday I told you guys about how a car salesman wants you to sit in the driver's seat and put your hand on the steering wheel? In sales, what I need to do is put it in your hand.
Okay.
Once it's in your hand, go ahead.
You door-to-door guys, because they say that all the time. Well, your neighbor down the street just said to do this. How full of it were you when you said that Lois bought it from me?
Well, if I was specific, that means Lois really did. Yeah. And I'm not going to lie, right? So I'm going to really have her
far be it for a door-to-door salesperson to do that.
Now, if I have not sold anything in that area, it's going to sound like this. Oh, my goodness. Everybody has been picking these up. Now, before you kick me away, sir, I apologize for bothering you. Check this out, sir. In the stores right now, they're $29.95. I only have 16 left. I'll give you as many as you want for $5. How many do you need? I never ask you a yes or no question. Everything is going to be open-ended. So anyways, I did this. Not only did I do this, I trained other people to do it. And so when I first got here to Washington, I had 3 people that I brought with me. One of them ended up marrying a flight attendant. The other one, he and we haven't talked in years. And then the other one, may he rest in peace, he's passed away. But we built our office. We're down there in Federal Way. We built it up to like 30, 35 individuals.
Wow.
It was awesome. And that's what we did. So
Let me tell you something.
Yeah.
Our wiener dogs never intimidated any door-to-door salespeople. Okay. But now that I have Juno, the Great Dane, and she is hyper-reactive, you know what salespeople, they're like, I'm like, no thanks. And you know what they say? Bye.
Well, I just want to say one more thing. Yeah. When you come up to someone's home and they open a door, oh my goodness, I love your lawn. Not many people get complimented on their lawn or their cars.
Hey, G. Manda's on the phone. She says you may be excused. Sully is at the traffic desk.
We're looking at a 5-mile backup and a 30-minute delay on northbound 167 as we continue to struggle from Auburn all the way up through Kent. The express toll lane remains blocked there pretty nasty commute. If you wanted to bail at Highway 18, head up the hill, and then head north on I-5, you're going to save a ton of time because Federal Way to South Center is wide open. We're talking 15 minutes there, and then only 35 from South Center to downtown. So we're well under an hour from Federal Way to Seattle. Rented to Bellevue is under a half an hour as well because everyone's stuck on 167. Coming down from the north end, still struggling as we're working our way past Linwood. Long-term crash we had in Mount Lake Terrace, still over an hour from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue. Lake bridges are good. KIRO Newsradio real-time traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
Scattered showers today, but it should dry out. Partly sunny by the afternoon. High in the mid-40s, upper 40s tomorrow with morning potential showers and afternoon partly sunny skies. So far, it looks like Saturday is the dry day of the weekend. Sunday, rain makes a return. Coming up on the G and Ursula Show, former King County Sheriff John Urquhart will join and discuss when law enforcement can use lethal force. That's on the way on KIRO News Radio.
The G and Ursula Show.
If you want to see what I'm wearing today, check out Mrs. Roper.
Weekdays 9 to noon.
A muumuu is like a bank. You never know how much is in it.
On KIRO News Radio and the KIRO News Radio app. KIRO FM and HD1 Tacoma, Seattle.
We meet by accident, fixing every last bit, accurate auto body.
If you've been in an auto accident, you have the right to take your vehicle to any repair facility. Accurate Auto Body has been family owned and operated since 1994, and they work for you, not your insurance company. Your insurance company may not love them, but you will, because
We meet by accident, fixing every last bit, accurate auto body.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You sort through tons of resumes and you get too many so-so applicants. You're just waiting for someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now, there's a place where you can meet them fast. ZipRecruiter.
Need to hire right away. Start your search for strong candidates. The right fit awaits. Build your team, build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/radio right now to try it for free. And you're on your way to meeting your match. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. So try it now. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
Eric Johnson here. I spent the past 30 years working to help make our community better informed, better protected when it comes to consumer issues, and better equipped to take on whatever life throws at us. That's why I love the free Washington Accident book series from Davis Law Group. These books keep us better informed about the law, better able to protect ourselves on and off the road, and better off when all is said and done after an accident. Chris Davis didn't have to write these books. He did it because he saw a need. People who were in accidents or other legal situations didn't know what to do, what pictures to take, documents to request. Only a tiny fraction of the people who get these 3 books will ever become clients of Davis Law Group, but that's not the point. Chris wrote them because it was the right thing to do. The free Washington Accident book series is a must-have for drivers who want to be prepared for whatever the road might throw at them. Get yours at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
I'm here with Wes Jones of sellwithwes.com. And Wes, you were just telling me you think 2026 is going to be a rebound year for the housing market.
That's right. I think we're heading into the best real estate market of the past 4 years. And here's why. If you take a step back and look at the big picture, experts are anticipating a 15% increase in sales volume next year. Interest rates are at near 3-year lows and trending down, and home prices have held near all-time highs. There is a lot of pent-up demand. People have been sitting on the sidelines waiting for their time to jump into the market since 2022, and they need a place to buy.
So, hey, 2026 might be your year. If you're considering selling your home, if you're thinking about moving, but there was something that was just holding you back, now might be a great time. So do this. Go to sellwithwes.com. You can see your home's real value there with Wes's home value calculator. Then schedule an appointment by giving him a call. Sellwithwes.com. Sellwithwes.com. It really just is a better way to sell your home.
Start having fun.
Caesar Sportsbook at Muckleshoot Casino Resort is your #1 place to eat, drink, watch, and have fun. Keep up with your favorite sports anywhere and everywhere on property with the mobile app. Visit muckleshootcasino.com today. Scan the QR code and let the play begin.
Muckleshoot. Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio. KIRO FM and HD1.